You are about to witness history in the making.
What's up, everyone? It's episode 19 of the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. It's the 12th of August. My name's Hayden, and I'm here with, as always, with Steve. How are you, Steve, this week? What's your week been like?
Yeah. Busy. Family. So,
yes, because you've had your daughter up, haven't you?
Yeah. She's doing some treats with her as such and taking her out, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's always nice to get out with the family, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But actually, it was just me and her. My missus didn't want to get involved. She said, honestly, I've got things to do. You go and spend some time with your daughter. And, okay, we'll do that. So we did what we did. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been doing then this week?
So, week-wise, it's just been work. Work and destiny, probably. I think it's probably the two words I'd use for the week stuff. But the weekend was nice because I took my daughter to a 7-bone burger restaurant I like. And if anyone had seen the pictures on Instagram or wherever, I didn't eat all those chili cheese fries. They made a mistake in the order. And so they said, but don't worry, I'll take them off, but you can keep them anyway. So I had these 2 big bowls of chili cheese fries and my burger and that. But that was it's just lovely. It's great. It's a good restaurant. It's always hard to get a table if you're not in there early. And we got there early because we were going to go to the cinema as well after. So we went to see Mission Impossible Fallout, which I'll talk about later. And on the Friday night, because she's not seen it, we watched Ready Player One with the 4K disc that had just been released.
What do you think of the 4K version?
Yeah. Interesting. And eBay sent me scanners from David Cronenberg Blu-ray.
Very nice.
So I had that as well. And I watched that, actually. I watched that during the week. One late evening. I think it might have been Thursday. Was it Thursday? Might have even been Friday. I can't even remember now. The week's gone. Gaming-wise, obviously there's been a bit of Destiny, which is probably in the bulk. Also, because I've not really had the time this weekend to get a lot of gaming in, I did start We Happy Few and finished it in 5 minutes.
Okay, so presumably this is like the quick ending and there is actually other versions of it. It's not just a 5-minute game at £10 a minute to play.
No, I'll explain that later.
Okay.
And I have a problem with my Xbox at the wrong time of the year right now.
Why?
Well, because it keeps shutting down as if it's too hot. And I've been putting up with it over the really hot summer we've had. I would say it would have been the room that would have been contributing to it.
Mm.
But it happened again today. And I was in orbit. Well, I was actually on a strike, a heroic strike, and it just died on me. And then rebooted it, and when you get the chip come up and all the sparkling and it all goes like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the green screen with the Xbox logo.
Yes.
And what was happening was there was pixelation going across the screen on the Xbox logo. And it was like as if it was a painting, someone had smeared it with a brush as well. Which That sounds like a graphics card problem to me.
There is some problem with it. You need to send it back.
And obviously then when it booted up, it said, it had an immediate shutdown to save it because it's probably a problem with the ventilation. But as the picture I've just put on Twitter earlier, trying to talk to someone from... Even though I spoke to an ambassador for Xbox, I hadn't spoken to support yet. He agrees, and I think that I've got to send it back take it to the support page and put it in for a repair.
don't get me wrong about the Xbox ambassadors, because I'm not going to knock one because I'm one.
Yeah.
But it is just guys like you and me are doing it for free. It's not.
No.
It's not anyone who's.
But I need to speak to support because I need to get a ticket. Really, if I can do it that way. I can't be asked to talk on the phone. If I can deal with it on a ticket, on a DM, then that would be great. But then what it means is, though, I'm going to have to box it up, print the label, get it something to pick it up from somewhere. It's going to be a ball ache, and it's the wrong time of year for me to do this. Because of Destiny and the other games that will be coming out in the next month.
But the longer that you leave it, the more it's going to impact on that.
Yeah, I know.
It's normally 3 weeks to get back. So if you did it in the next couple of days, it'll get back in time.
That's my Destiny grind out of the way for the next.
Well, no, you'll just have to nip over to PlayStation.
No, I'm not going to go in. I'm not nowhere near as far as I'm in this. Obviously, we'll talk about that later, but I'm nowhere near. But it just annoys me now that I've got to deal with this.
Yeah.
And when you don't have anyone around the house a lot during the week, they got to collect it from somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
But don't DHL and that have collection points and that now?
I'd have to talk to them and see what they want to do.
I'm sure that they do. I think you'll find that you'll be able to take it to your local.
Yeah, we've got a few shops.
Or whatever.
Yeah, we've got a few UPS versions or whatever and stuff like that. But then again, I don't want to. You see, I want it to come back as a Project Scorpio edition, not as I say it's knackered. Here's another edition. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean, because that's the one thing you can't guarantee is that they're going to send it back as a Scorpio. Yeah,
and also if I send it away in the box, I've got the Scorpio box up there behind me.
Yeah,
and I'm one for having it right, and it come back in a cardboard box. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got any cardboard boxes to pack it with at the minute, so I need to speak to them this week, see what they're going to say, see whether or not I mean, if it wasn't that I could send it back. And get it. If they could replace it with another Scorpio and just say deal with it because it's under a year old.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll do that. They'll end up repairing it, I think. I can't see them replacing it.
No, and I think, to be honest, there's a lot of people who have Scorpio editions who wouldn't want to lose them anyway.
No. It's just, it annoys me. I mean, it can happen to anybody really on any console.
Yeah.
But it's what you don't want. But I say I'm going to have to go through the ticket, and then if they want me to submit a video, I've already recorded the intro as well, to show the pixelation. It must have shut down 20 times in the last 2 months, easily. So, yeah, but Mr. Grumpy, Mr. Unhappy, really about that. So yeah, that's about it really for me. What about yourself? So how have you been?
Well, it's been my second and final week of being off during the summer holidays, and it's just flown by, to be honest. I can't really tell you where most of the week went. It's been quite a practical week for me because I dug up grass, laid paving slabs, and built a shed, a metal one to put my bikes in. And actually I was quite surprised. This metal shed, it was only 120 quid from Argos.
I know the one. I saw the pictures. Yeah, I know the ones you sort of mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got it, it was delivered in this box, and this box was about 1.5 meters by 0.5 meter by 10 centimeters deep. And when this guy from the Argos delivery came and he said, "Here's your product." No, that's not my product. I've ordered a shed. That's like a. I don't know, a set of shelves for, somebody's living room or something or other like that. He said, no, this is a shed, truly, honestly. And it was a shed. And when before I opened it, my wife decided to drive over it, which is always a good thing, isn't it? She actually broke one of the handles. That was the only thing that broke in it. But when I got it all out, I was like, holding on to it because I was helped by my next door neighbour Rob. He's a really good bloke. How how is this going to hold itself up? It's going to blow away. It weighs nothing. And it's like really flimsy. And by the time we built it, it's actually more rigid than my wooden shed.
Yeah.
Which I can't really quite understand why, but it is. It just something about once it all got together. As soon as, it was weird, but it just all of a sudden at the last thing you put a couple of screws into this thing, and suddenly it becomes this from this like jelly type metal to this solid, construction. It was like really, really weird. So anyway, I built that. I did get the bikes in, but there's 3 of us and we've got 5 bikes. My wife's got one from years and years and years ago, which needs to go. And we've got like a little kid's bike as well as my son's normal bike. And it's just like, it's not big enough for 5 bikes. It's big enough for 3, which is what I've managed, what I sort of like measured the dimensions for. 3 would be fine. So anyway, we're going to cut down on a number of bikes that are in there and get a shot of 2 of them. And then the other thing I did was I also bought from Wix a key to garden bench. Because the idea behind it is, when you get those times when you've got deliveries or whatever, is I'm just going to put a padlock on it and leave it unlocked, and then leave instructions for like Amazon, any deliveries, stick it in there and then lock it so that, if I'm not in, it's easy for deliveries to actually come. I thought that would be quite a good idea because it's a waterproof box sort of thing, but it's also a garden bench, which is quite nice, even though it's on my drive.
Yeah.
But, because obviously my mother getting up to take in parcels, it'll be probably too heavy for her to do it. She can keep an eye on the bench anyway, because she sits directly at the other side of the wall, but the deliveries can just go straight in there and then they're kept away from the bad weather. So that's the idea behind that, really.
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I think it'll work. Other than that, really not been playing that much at all. Although I have to admit, I completed 2 games yesterday, and one.
Yeah, what cheap, crappy games were they?
I'm not going to talk about what games they were.
Yeah, I know. Go on, try it. Yeah, quick on.
But no, I was just playing a couple of indie games, and So other than that, I said I've just not been really playing that much. I have started doing a bit of a healthier living sort of kick, and my wife and I have been going for at least mile walks for the last several days, and I'm starting to tell the difference because like trousers are feeling a bit slacker and stuff like that. Although what's really weird is I'm not losing weight, because it seems that at the same ratio that I'm burning off fat, my body is recreating muscle to compensate for the weight sort of thing, which is a bit frustrating. I'm looking forward to when my body stops doing that and actually starts losing weight. Been watching a few movies as well in the last week, as well as been at the cinema. So you've been to see Ghost Protocol, which I'm not Protocol.
No,
Fallout, which I'm interested in hearing about. But I've also been to see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I can be fussed about watching that yet. I might wait. I mean, I'm going to be watching the Avengers one shortly, which I'm behind on. I'm probably skipping Black Panther, but
Matt, I don't skip Black Panther. It's really good.
Yeah.
But in terms of Avengers Infinity War, oh my god, mate, you are going to love it.
Yeah. So if I don't
and you should love it, because if you think Suicide Squad's good, this is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, I've had a little sneaky peek, but yeah, I will. But I need that. It's a 2.5 hour movie, and I'm on call from Monday as well. So
the dreaded on call.
Yeah, I'm doing Chris's call out this week because he's on holiday. So yeah, it's one of those things. But there you go.
Yeah. I got my YouTube video done for the Elite controller grips. I don't know whether or not you've actually had a chance to watch it yet or not.
So, a lot of stuff I'd love to sit around and do is just not been going on this weekend.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'll send you a link anyway, because I know that you were particularly interested in that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So And really, that's about it. So I'm back to work tomorrow, feeling very depressed over it.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for these next 2 weeks to fly by. Then I'm off for 2 weeks, so it's can't come quick enough. But it's still a long way off yet.
It is. Anyway, unless we've got any more, shall we go on to gaming this week?
Yep.
Okay, let's go to gaming this week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so we've got a couple of bits of news here. Do you want to do one and I'll do the other, Steve?
Yeah, I'll do the smaller one. You do the big one, because I also want to talk about something else that was in the news this week as well, which I haven't got there. So
okay.
Something else worth. It's actually if you've seen it, of course. But
of course, yeah.
We can always put it on hold afterwards if to next week. But it'd be worth having your thoughts on what was on view. But,
Okay. Well, the big news that's been going throughout the week, I think, and had quite a bit of debate online and whatever, is former IGN reviewer being accused and fired for plagiarism, and his subsequent response on that. So, a YouTuber named Boomstick Gaming published a video entitled "IGN copied my Dead Cells review. What do I do?" In that video, he described how, in his view, IGN, their review of Dead Cells, written by Munchin, is it Mushin? I can never pronounce these strange names. Was rewritten version of his own review that was published over a week before, and IGN have since investigated this and have actually fired him as well. So it was the former IGN editor, Philippe, which is spelt with an F rather than a PH, Musin, however it is he's pronounced, I don't know. He was fired after an investigation into the fact that he had actually plagiarised this, and he responded on his YouTube channel saying that there were a lot of circumstances about the review and that he didn't intend to plagiarise anyone's review, but that video has since been taken down. And it was reported that plagiarisation was not an intentional thing, and he apologised to IGN for all of the criticisms that have been erupted since the announcement. However, I understand, and some more reading, it was reported, I can't remember where it was now, but one of the websites is evidently this isn't the first time that this sort of thing has happened with him either. So,
isn't it?
It is, yeah. And, I mean, plagiarising is not good at all.
But don't you think reviews of XYZ by 50 people review the same product, aren't they going to be a bit similar, to be honest? Is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, unless they did it in a very specific style, which somebody completely ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you've got to be good at your job to be a reporter.
Yeah.
In that shape, you know.
Yeah, you have.
But yeah, no. A bit naughty, but there you go.
It is not. I mean, I'm not supporting it, but I can kind of understand maybe if he was up against a wall for, having to get tight time scales, he's cut a corner and he's been found out, and he's made that sort of error, but it's not good. You shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff ever. But I know that, it's been reported quite a lot that, the time scales for reporting on these things are very critical, and I think that the IGN and other people who other agencies who do this sort of thing, they all put high pressure on the staff in order to produce within a very limited amount of time, and obviously some people will crack under that pressure. So it's a shame, but also very wrong to do as well.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do the second one?
So I've seen a picture of this. So PS4, the PS4 Pro 50 million limited edition reveal.
500 million.
Sorry, 500 million, 50 million. So Sony have now sold over 500 million consoles since 1994. And to celebrate this milestone, Sony is releasing a limited edition PS4 Pro with translucent dark blue that will be limited to 50,000 units. Is that wow?
Yeah, worldwide.
And this will be worldwide. It also comes with a matching translucent blue DS4 stand, headset, and a camera, and a 2 terabyte hard drive. Goes on sale on the 25th of August online, and in stores in September. Now, considering how many they've already sold already on the PS4s, it depends whether people, die-hard Sony boys, are going to ditch the one they've got to pay towards that one.
Well, I can quite imagine that there will be some Sony fans out there who will be in raptures over this and going to sell their Pro and their soul to Satan in order to buy this. But to be honest, if you've already got a Pro, what's it, other than having it in a see-through colour, what's it actually giving you?
It's not really, is it? But then again, it's like this, I'd be interested to see how much they flog on eBay for when they go out.
Oh, there'll be no doubt there'll be absolutely silly prices. Where people buy 2 or 3 different versions and then sell them massively more.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it happen with, previous versions of PlayStation, with Xbox, with all sorts of stuff. Look at the Switch, and all of the prices that were there initially for that as well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that's limited edition,
yeah,
in brackets, eBay will be selling it for a little bit more.
Personally, I mean, this is all very well and good, but how about Sony saying we've sold 500 million? Well, actually, it's 525 million that they've actually sold. But how about them turning around and saying, here's 4 months free on PlayStation Network for everybody?
Yeah.
I think that'd be quite a neat touch. Or here's a free game, or whatever.
I imagine they're going to give a few of those away to some YouTubers to promote them, possibly, and stuff like this.
Yeah, that's all well and good.
That's
but the YouTubers who have done that are only one small part of the bigger picture. There is, 500 million people who have bought these. Assuming that they've only bought one, we know that it's probably about 200 million who's probably actually bought it, and then the subsequent repeated buying of the 1, 2, 3, and 4 and whatever. So surely it would be nice to give something back to all of those people like us who've supported them over the years.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of them think like that. They don't.
No, they don't.
They're all tight-fisted.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of it as a console, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm not so sure about the controller translucent. I've never been a big fan of that. But in terms of the actual console, it does look good. And plus the fact, the great thing is you'll be able to see when it's starting to get a build-up of dust, so to get the vacuum out. Maybe that's what you want to do with your Xbox. Vacuum the vents.
Well, as I say, the vents is always pretty clear. I mean, I could give it. And I had someone's just come back on a tweet to me. Recommends I elevate it off the floor, off the actual, the base up a bit. But I don't think there's anything underneath there. Is there on these machines that are going to?
No, but then again, in terms of mine, my Xbox is the first one that I've sat vertical. So, and I've not come across this problem yet, touch wood.
Yeah.
So maybe try sitting it on its base stand and sticking it up vertical.
I don't think I've got the room there though to do that, to be honest. But if you
can't you do it on the top of your unit? No,
there's no room for it really. They look so out of place. And also, aren't the vents on either side of there anyway? So
no, because it's specifically designed to be able to stand vertically on that base thing that comes in the box.
I've never seen the base. I've never had a base, I don't think.
It came in the box.
What, with the...
Yeah, with the Scorpio.
When we get a quiet moment, we'll get it down. It's just behind me and have a look.
Yeah, it does, because mine came in with it, and I've attached it to my Scorpio, so because we both got the same version.
Mm. Yeah,
So-
I don't. Yeah, it's difficult. There's no. I mean, you have to go really high up, and it just look an eyesore.
Yeah, but it's all it is to try out to see if it is a ventilation problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I could-
you only have to do it for a couple of days just to see if you still get the same thing, and then you know.
Yeah. I mean, I was worried when I was playing Ready Player One last night if it was going to drop out while it was playing it.
Mm.
But it didn't. But it did this morning, and I touched the top of it, and the bat. It wasn't hot really. It was a little bit warm, but so that's what worries me, that there's a power supply issue, even though it wasn't mega hot. Where you think, oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. But anyway, we'll see.
So did you have some other news to add?
Well, yeah. Did you get to see the Red Dead Redemption gameplay this week?
Yes, there wasn't some of it actually shot on a PlayStation Pro.
Yeah, it was apparently. But
And looked good. Looked really good.
There's a lot of to and fro in that game. You're going to be busy.
I'm still not sure if I'm going to be wanting it, to be honest.
I mean, I enjoyed the last one. The idea of being as more open world as I can possibly put it. But you'll have to do things for the gang to keep everyone happy. If you don't, you could be in trouble with them and get bad attitude from some of the members. It will be interesting. I mean, it might be worth waiting to hear the reviews when it comes out before purchasing it, if it's one that you really want to stick some hours into.
Yeah.
Because they're not. If you just spend a couple of hours and never play it again, it would be a waste of money, really.
Yeah, to be honest, it's one I'm going to hold off for and wait for the price to come down, because I never really got into Red Dead Redemption. I don't know what it is about Rockstar games. It's very rare that they actually hold my attention for very long.
Well, any sort of open world game sometimes doesn't hold your attention very long, does it really?
I think that's a bit unjust. Somewhat.
Like Bethesda, for example.
Excuse me, I finished Oblivion and the DLC pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, I'd actually completed another Bethesda game more recently than you as well. So come on, you can't say that.
Which one was that?
I can't remember, but there was one that I've recently played and completed, because I raised this the other week when you said to me about Bethesda.
Yeah, well, the true Bethesda fans all play Fallout. Anyway, by the by. Anyway.
Yeah, get stuck in the scenery.
Yeah, say you say. Anyway,
and then have an upside down flying backwards dragon in the sky.
Yeah, that's great fun. I love seeing them and then fall out of the sky. It's great. Anyway, new releases. Sure, I tell you what, do you want me to do that and you do the charts?
Yeah, I'll do the chart.
Okay, so on the 14th of the 8th, we have World of Warcraft Battle of Azeroth, obviously on the PlayStation, not PlayStation, sorry, on the PC from Blizzard. On the 17th of the 8th, we've got two games. We've got Dead Cells, which we were just talking about, on the PS4 and the Switch, and we've got Hero Defense on the PlayStation 4. That's about it. And yeah, no, there's nothing much else.
No, it's a very quiet week.
Yeah.
Chart-wise, to be honest, I'm not even sure whether or not the charts...
They haven't, have they? No.
Well, we have. I don't think we had the number 5. So Grand Theft Auto 5 is in at number 5, up from number 7. The Crew is down from number 3 to number 4. Up from number 5 to number 3 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Staying at number 2 again is Lego The Incredibles. And at number 1 is Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So that's...
I don't know whether people aren't buying many games, therefore they just stay the same. Because the chart won't move.
Well, to be honest, I think it's a lot of it's quite a kiddies chart.
Other than Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, apart from the fact that I do know people who, let the kids play Grand Theft Auto 5 at a much younger age.
Yeah.
Because little Johnny's perfectly alright. He's just driving about in a car right up until he goes into the strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't even want to think about that, do you?
No, you don't. But anyway, moving swiftly on. What have you been playing? Because I'm interested in hearing about your first one here.
So first of all, I completed the game in 5 minutes. And we're talking about We Happy Few.
How did you complete it in 5 minutes?
I took the pill of joy.
So you sold out?
Yep, I did. And I went, yoo-hoo! So basically, if you remember the intro to the game, you're there on this machine approving different newspaper cuttings.
Yeah.
And after you do that, he says, do I want to take my joy after reading a certain item in the news? And you can either take it or not. If you take it, credits, game over, and an achievement. So, if you want to get... Go on.
Isn't the whole point of it not to take it?
That's right, but you're given the option to. Now, I'm sure most people just say, I'm not going to take it and carry on with the game, but you're going to miss out on whatever it was game score there. So, and it was a rare achievement as well. Give it that as well.
Yeah, because most other people will not have taken the pill.
No, absolutely. But yeah, the game, for me now, obviously, because I had the game sitting on my Xbox and I've been playing bits of it, the game actually started differently. There was a big update. I don't know how big the update was because I didn't take notice of it, to be honest. So the game kicked off. Load of introductions and screenshots and bits and pieces. And you go to start the game. And you're given quite a few options on how you want to play the game, first of all. Now, I thought I'd just play it as normal for now. But you can customize the game on how you want to use the facilities, whether you're going to be using the idea that you want to eat more in the game, for example, to stay alive. Do you want permadeath on? Do you want it off? So quite a variation there than originally was there in the first place. So I kicked the game off, and pretty much the game starts as it always has done when you're in that room, and you go around doing some bits and pieces, and you end up in a room with everyone else thinking you're all happy and joyful, and there's a party there with a piñata.
Yeah.
And when you bang the piñata, blood's everywhere, and it's like a rat on the table instead of a piñata full of sweets. So from there onwards, the game progresses exactly as it did before, which I don't want to say too much about it anyway, because obviously people may want to give this a go. And to get out to the main world, once you've gone through these caverns and bits and pieces, it's pretty much the same as before. And it probably looked a bit better. And actually not noticing what I was doing at the time, there's certain parts of the game which weren't... It seemed more relaxed. Because it was, when I used to play that, it was, you'd get caught and you'll get shot to bits by somebody, and you'd end up dying and restarting the game at one point, or when they updated it, you'd be able to just restart from your last save point or whatever. But there's a load of different things I've noticed. The crafting looks pretty cool still. So you have to craft, for example, bobby pins to lockpicks. You've got vending machines. So it sounds very, very familiar to me. I can say that. Vending machines are full of crafting materials. Well, we had that before in the past, I add. Very Bioshock idea. There are some collectibles. I picked up a collectible mask, and it gave me a black and white short little bit of video footage about the person I am. So I'm assuming there's probably a lot of these scattered around which can give you more of a backstory to your character. There's a skill tree involved in this as well, which has got combat, stealth, and something called super duper. And for some people that love to moan about hitting the X button and holding it to pick up things, you're going to do it in this game as well. So that's sort of a bit of the base of what you're having to play with. Now, I've only done a couple of hours. I've done the first couple of missions to get to a certain point in the map. And I'm now stuck waiting to see how I've got to get into this castle area. I've got to get in there, but at the moment I don't know how to do it. So I just sort of left it at that, really. So it was just really, I hadn't had a chance this week. I think it came out, did it come out Friday? I think it might have done. It was the 10th, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a few days ago.
So I haven't had a chance really until now. I did notice when I got home the other night that the update was there, so I just energised that to carry on. And as I had a quick sneaky play this afternoon. So, but it might be your cup of tea. But it's a full price game now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yes, it is. It's about 50 odd quid.
Yeah. And I can't remember what I paid. Was it 12 quid? Something like that?
Yeah.
So as much as I was burnt buying it, I'm probably going to appreciate for buying it in the first place now. I mean, it looks great. I love the architecture of the way it all looks with sort of the graphics of this sort of BioShock-esque with a bit of fabled graphics thrown in as well. From my point of view, I think, and I will give it if I do have an Xbox to play over the next week, I'll give it a bit more of a go and see where it takes me.
Yeah.
In between playing Destiny, of course, but it's the pull on Destiny is there more at the most than most things.
That's because of the moments of triumph.
Yes. And going on to that, I'd like to just say shout out to Prudio1. We teamed up and we got my blue armour.
Yeah, you never invited me in.
You weren't even online then?
I was online.
You were greyed out because we had a look.
You could have sent me a message, Facebook message. Are you on?
Well, I don't know what because when I go on a lot at night time, you're sometimes never there, so I'm assuming you're obviously busy.
No, I might just have switched it on offline. I'll show myself as offline sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because once or twice I've had people bombarding me with requests. It was a friend of my son's. He's like about 12 or 13, and he just about 20, come to my party sort of invites, and I just thought, I'll just switch it offline. I can't be bothered. I don't because you can't mute a player, can you, from sending them or from responding if they've got a message from them?
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame. So, but no, I would have been up for this, so never mind. But I got my blue armour as well.
You did, yes. And I have been on today, and I just sat there doing strikes for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Well, I had the chance. And I was after me polygraph parts for my doing the DLC for Osiris, for the forging of the weapons. And I was on the last box to get my last weapon. Well, I assumed it was my last weapon. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, because if you've not seen the clock in the lighthouse where you forge your weapons, it's a big clock there, and every time you forge your weapon, it goes yellow. So I knew I had one left to do. And obviously at the same time, which was handy, was that the blue armour needs you to do heroic strikes.
Yeah. So
I was helping myself on that, as well as doing the one of the I can't remember, it was Arc. I think it was Void I was dealing with at the time. So I was levelling up my Void kills, and I've now completed all the Curse of Osiris forging of weapons. There's 11 in total, and also I've got an exotic ghost at the end of it as well.
Nice.
So that was nice. That was nice to button that up with all those weapons, and it just means trying to now go through all that scenario now with the blue, which I'm hoping it doesn't go to an exotic where you got to do it again.
I think it will do.
I hope they just give you it as exotic and have done with it. I mean, I'll have to look on YouTube and see what it does.
Well, it was a massive boost, wasn't it, from the green to the blue?
Yes, and what I thought was great was you can put some different colours on the armour. So you can personalise it.
The shaders.
Yes, you can personalise that, which is pretty cool.
You can also put on the weapon mods as well, or the suit mods.
Yeah, that's right. And then
so you can get 5 extra hit points on each one.
Yeah, that's right.
Or levels, light levels.
So I think I was up to about 370 roughly.
That's because you've got higher graded weapons.
Yeah, I think because I think I've got 3. I think my Mitre was 378. Along with one of my rocket launchers, I think, and another gun that was in my other in the kinetic slot as well.
Yeah, I think my highest rated weapon at the moment is about 361.
Yeah,
but you've been playing it loads more.
Yeah,
than I
that's
have.
what I've been grinding up and getting the going through each week with the engrams, which obviously upgrade you each time. But no, I'm really, really enjoying it. I enjoyed doing the strikes, although trying to get that last item I needed to complete the last part of the puzzle. They normally drop once every time you play a strike, but they didn't. And at one point, I was right at the end of a mission, and the 2 guys I was with bailed out on me. And this is the one where you've got the large Vex at the end, and he goes into different hiding with the force field. And he jumps around to different parts of the map.
Do you know what? That one's quite easy to do as well. It's not like the one where you have where the floor disappears, and the floor disappears again, you drop down another level, which is quite a hard one to do because the last bit that you don't have any real cover.
No. So those 2 people bailed out at me, so I thought, well, I'll just hide and so take a few pot shots. And the 2 guys that popped in helped me just clear it in about 2 or 3 minutes. And then I had one where, the worm at the end of the last DLC.
Oh, God, yeah. I hate that level.
And that was not too bad. That's not too bad. If your supers are popping out all the time, it was all right. But yeah, I eventually got that. I was well chuffed to get that last bit there. The game, as even Prudy was saying, its game has come back to life really in a big way now. With all these little tweaks they've been putting into the game. It's great. I just can't wait for the next update.
I do think what they've done though is a bit unrealistic for some of the stuff, because there is one of the moments of triumph requirements is that you get to level 50 in the Crucible.
Yes.
And if in order to get to level 50, if you played for 6 hours a day for 26 days and won every match, you would score enough points to actually get that.
This weekend...
Who is going to play that? Who is going to play that much Crucible? No one.
Yeah, well, this weekend was I think, well, I won't call it that. It was like a double PXP on Crucible this weekend. So that would probably help boost it. But also, there is an exotic ship, but you need to do 3 characters to get it.
Yeah.
Imagine the grinding. And Prudy actually, he actually gave me a tip he'd heard on, I think either on Reddit or somewhere. And I did this obviously because at the time he did it, so I'll quickly grab one before mine turned blue. But if you take a set of green armour and put it into your vault, and then when you're doing the blue, if you then attach it to you as a second set of armour, and then while you're in there, use your green and then put your blue back on at the last minute, something like that, you could probably cheese it a bit.
That's a bit cheap. Yeah, I can't. The requirements are different on the armour though, so I can't see how that's going to work.
Yeah, well, I'll have another chat with him maybe later in the week, see what he said. But yeah, but other than that, yeah, I mean, they're not too bad looking at the what you got to do this time.
Do you not think? I think it looks awful. And I don't know if you've actually tried doing the heroic Redux levels, but God, they are difficult.
Well, obviously with two people, with one person, it's a bit of a. I think it's a bit of a no-go, to be honest.
It's worse than a Nightfall, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically, the Nightfall now is only level 270.
Mm.
So in theory, it should be quite easy to do it solo.
You'd have thought so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know if you've got much more to say about it, but I'm just loving it.
I think the thing that's destroyed it for me again was reading that article that said in order to be able to get that that one of the requirements, you'd have to play it for that. I thought, well, that's utterly unrealistic. Unless you're somebody who doesn't work and all that you do all day is play Destiny, you're not going to ever be able to achieve it.
Well, I know people that do work that have been sort of going through that, so depends maybe on what sort of a good player you are, I don't know.
Well, even so, Bungie have said themselves have worked out how long it would take you to do, and that's 6 hours a day winning every game for 26 days solid. Who can do that?
But obviously, get into that Crucible level 50. A lot of them would have been closer anyway, probably, at the point this came out.
I'm not so sure.
No, because there's people that just play Crucible.
Yeah, but it's this season.
Yeah. But then this season has been going since... It's been a couple of months out. So they'd have been just constantly playing the game. I think, it's like...
But I thought seasons were about 3 months.
Possibly, but if they're playing that every day of the week... Because, with the factions... I think it might have finished now. I didn't really go sort of balls deep with it, but I've got to about level 27 with that out of 50. And I didn't really I didn't break a sweat, and I wasn't really doing it all the time either. So, if that works the same way, anyway, because you've got to do level 50 on that.
Mm.
I mean, Crucible, I think I'm level 11, and I can't think what I'm called now. On the XP, every time you level around, you're given a new name as a character.
Yeah.
And you get to be fabled or mythic or something, or whatever, all these sort of different terms and terminology. Mm. But no, I can't say any more than nothing. I mean, it's just great that this game's come back to life.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just think it just makes a lot of it feel pretty unreachable. For normal players, people who bob in and out. I mean,
you and I know that back in the day when we had the books, there was a lot there to do, and obviously some of that you do anyway, or is it from your history of the last year?
Yeah.
But I never completed a whole book, and I don't think you did either. So it's I'm not too fussed.
Mm. I just cast back to after the first year, and how you, me, and Chris worked our butts off.
Yeah.
And we were right down to the last day, and we still didn't quite achieve everything that we were supposed to do. And I think now, when it comes round, I feel more like groaning rather than anything else. I think, oh God, they're doing that again. And I know I'm going to get wrapped up into it. And then I'm going to be sort of like, well, what do I do now? Do you know what I mean? When I know that I'm not going to achieve it, and then that has a negative effect on me on the game, is what I'm saying. So I don't know what the answer is, because obviously they're trying to accommodate all types.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just to do a percentage, so that in order to have achieved, you have to do if 70 or 80% of it. If
I can get this done, if I hang out my Xbox and I can survive and get through August and get this done, it may well be doable. If we're on in the evenings for a couple of hours,
yeah,
just going through six missions at the same time, using your weapon slots and whatever you're going to use, whether it's Void, Arc, or or Solar, to level those parts up. I say I've already done the 3 heroic missions this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, that's an easy bit to do, because if you're a lone person more than not, you're jumping with two people that are probably together.
Mm.
So it makes it easier sometimes to be in that position, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, yeah, if I don't get it, I don't get it. I'm not gonna cry over this. I'm still enjoying the game.
Yeah.
A lot of the weapons you won't be able to use in the new updates anyway with the new DLC.
Mm.
Because they're going to be pretty much useless. But they are taking...
As is always the case.
Exactly, and they're taking some of them over anyway. I mean, every weapon at the moment, I'm actually storing in my vault. If it's one I haven't got, it's in the vault. Just because if they're not going to be there again, they'll be gone. It'd be nice to have a collection. This is a collecting game at the end of the day as well.
Yeah.
Always has been.
It's the OCD person's favourite game, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be the point of saying I've got to have one of each, one void, one arc, one solar.
Knowing you probably want two of each, so you've got a spare.
Well, do you know what? Because it's 300 slots in a minute, isn't it, right? And I've got 266 slots used. So, but I've got every ghost that I've collected so far. I've got every ship, every bike,
Mm-hmm.
As well as I've got 2 or 3 of the same. But where I've been going for the masterworks on each of the parts of what you're wearing.
Yeah.
So that's why I've got 2 at the minute, because I will be able to stream that down a bit. Where if I've got my highest one is a 278. But the Masterworks version is less, and I'll just infuse one to the other to get the Masterworks up to that level.
Mm.
But, it's what you do, isn't it?
I have to admit, Masterworks I've not looked at all.
No, because of the DLC with Osiris, I don't think you have you?
I completed the campaign. Yeah,
but you didn't even start the weapon forging, did you?
No.
Which has been great. I've really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed it, and it was not too much of a grind. I don't mind playing Crucible, so therefore earning the bits you need when you get dropped in Crucible, and then heroic strikes. Then you're infusing them. Once you've got 10 of them, you infuse them together to give you another one that you put in, attached to the box, and so on and so forth. It's really, really good.
I must admit, one of the requirements for upgrading to the blue armour was that you did so much Crucible.
Mm.
And it was a grind as well. And I didn't mind that, to be honest, because they had Mayhem on.
That's right.
And that's my preferred Crucible mode, so that your supers constantly shoot up quicker. Because actually, when I've got the supers on, I actually do quite a good job. Because, I'll sneak up and then launch my superpower when they're all clustered and just wipe out the whole team all in one go. I've done that several times.
Yeah, so just quickly, without going too deep, looking at the armour we've got at the minute. So with the hood you've got to wear, your helmet, void weapons kills 100% for me. Nightfall completed to do and mission completed to do. Then the gloves, I've done the 3 heroic strikes, but I've got art melees and a mission to do on that. The chest armour, 18% on solar grenade kills at the minute. 5 Crucible wins won't be difficult, and then the mission to do on that. The boots requires the Spark Redux completed, Arc Super Kills, which I haven't started yet, and 10 adventures to do. So, you could go through doing adventures one evening.
Mm.
And then the last bit, which is your bond. Enemy kills, 500, which I've completed. 38% on solar at the minute, and there's a mission to do with that one as well. So, it's doable. But I need to go on YouTube to see what you got to do if you have to pick up the exotic version and then roll that out.
Yeah.
But that's about it really. That's all I want to say too much now because people will be falling asleep. But I really love it. Really do. What about yourself? Have you got anything else you want to have a chat about, game-wise, that you've been doing?
Yeah, I mean, this weekend was a free weekend for Onrush,
Oh, okay.
which is a racing game with a sort of difference in the fact that you don't race. And
Right.
basically, you just go round and round different tracks, and you build up boost by knocking off ghost sort of cars, or black cars, black motorbikes. That increases your boost, doing jumps, doing wheelbarrows, and all of that sort of stuff. And you knock out your opponent so you can take them down and that sort of thing, and that's how you earn points. It's not about getting round the track the fastest or being in number one, because it doesn't work like that at all. And it looks really, really quite attractive. I've not played long on it, because, like I said, it's a free weekend, and by the time I finished downloading it, it took a little while, because I was doing other stuff with my Xbox as well. But it looks really nice, and I've noticed that this is about £25 now, from places like Tesco.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite good value for money overall. But yeah, it was, it's a, like I said, one of the, free weekend plays. So they're always worth actually keeping an eye out for when they come on, because I think they start from about late Thursday, early Friday, and then run through till a Monday. But quite enjoyable, a different type of game. It's more like a circuit version of Destruction Derby in a lot of ways than anything else.
Yeah.
Because you just, you're constantly smashing into other cars. So you have your boost gauge, and then you have another gauge. When that gets up to the top, then, a light touch on another vehicle will completely wipe it out. And it'll go for like a fuzzy effect in terms of like the speed as well, because you're supposed to be going faster, but you don't catch up to the other cars still. But it looks gorgeous. It plays really well, and it's quite good fun. Whether or not I would have been as happy with it if I'd have bought it for £50 when it first came out, I don't think I would have done. But in terms of something that is maybe one to look out for when you're hitting that budget range of £25, which we are now with it, or below, it's worth it investigating.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the other game that I've been playing, other than Destiny as well, is I've still been on Battlefield 1. So I'm just sort of dipping in and out a little bit, not been playing much of it, but I did venture into the multiplayer, which was one of these control sort of ones where, you've got various different points and you have to stop people from taking them over. And completely enjoyed it. Very different. I mean, obviously it's very different to Destiny, but even just in every way, it is different to Destiny, because you don't have those supers, you don't have all of the jumping and whatever. I feel the map's much bigger. There's more players, and also if you work together, it really does work a lot better if you're storming a location from two different points. And I think I went up in one game about 3 ranks, something like that, which wasn't too bad, all things considered, because I scored so much on it.
Yeah.
But and also finished off another one of the story campaigns. I've only got one left now, but the one I just completed was the Australian one. And then I've got Lawrence of Arabia to finish. I think I'm 2 out of 3 parts of that done.
Oh, okay. So you've been hammering it a bit then?
I wouldn't say hammering it. It's been more. I've been accessing it a bit more casually, but it's like I said, I just don't know where this last week's gone, to be honest. But when I've been playing it, and like I said, it is still on the Pro that I've been playing it as well. Yeah, because I have to admit, I'm starting to get tempted by looking for a SCUF controller for the Pro.
Oh, interesting.
Because there is a new one that Scuff are releasing.
Yeah.
The Scuff controllers, there are various different... Well, there's two primary sort of styles at the moment. There is the one which is the normal sort of style, which is the Scuff Infinity Pro. And then Scuff have also done one that is called the Scuff Impact. And that one looks more like, that Xbox style controller that I reviewed a little while ago.
Yeah.
That was an alternative that didn't have the headphone jack in. Well, it's a similar shape to that, apart from the fact that the D-pad is still in the PlayStation point and both of the thumbsticks are, normal PlayStation positions on it. But it's the same sort of shape as that. So it kind of it looks like a merger between a 360 controller and a PlayStation controller. But when you actually look at the configuration options on these, you start adding them up, boy, do they get pricey. For this configuration that I wanted, which had the lock-in triggers, so that I did, the trigger depth was less.
Yeah.
One of the paint jobs, a different back so that you had better grip on there, and a couple of other things. The magnetic rewiring of what some of the buttons, the paddles do on the underside and that sort of stuff. You were talking about $159.99 on the base model, and if I actually went to the designs that I actually liked in terms of it, it had gone vastly up to about $180, $190 for a controller.
Wow.
And evidently, they're about to release in America a new version of it, which looks like the Scuff Impact. Apart from it's more the stick layout is Xbox style, so we might finally have a really high quality Xbox style controller for the PS4.
Yeah, well,
but so I'm holding off to see how much that's going to be. But I'm also hoping that Scuff's going to be at Insomnia. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Because it's the type of thing that they'll probably turn up to, or they may turn up to. But they have some really fantastic designs in controllers. And there's also ones where there's specific YouTuber, ones as well, where they've got involved with YouTube gamers.
Right.
And also they have locking and unlocking sticks. So how you can just take off magnetically the Elite ones?
Yeah.
Well, all of the Scuff ones, you have something, like a key that you press down and turn, and you can change the sticks to whatever colour you like. Or whatever configuration, either the Scuff ones, or you can have the normal PlayStation ones or whatever.
Oh, mate, it'd be nice to try something like that out, completely different.
Yeah.
Just to see what that feels like. And
well, that's what I want to do.
They?
Well, no, like I said, £59 plus delivery for the Impact one that is, you can choose any out of all of these sort of things and we'll build it for £159 regardless. But all of the stuff that you really want, all of the the nice shells and whatever, you have to pay more for.
Yeah.
So, but they do look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very tempted, but I'm fighting the temptation at the moment because I also have to consider that we've got, I've got Edinburgh, which I've decided I'm going to go up and down in the day. To be honest, to that event.
Okay.
Because I'll be back, it's 3 hours to Edinburgh for me, so I'll be back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. For the podcasting one.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, that one. Okay. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
For the
November one.
Yeah.
No, I would be thinking that we'd be stopping the night.
Sleeping in the car overnight.
No, in a hotel, but there's a few cheaper hotels there, or hostels, or whatever you want to do.
Oh, it's about hostels or not. I have a bad experience with movies with them.
Fair enough. And with that, shall we make that as our segue to go to movies, TV and streaming?
Yeah, let's do that.
In quest of a better life,
Okay, well, I don't have any news for movies, TV and streaming this week. Do you have anything that you want to bring up? I'll take it that's enough.
I'll just say one thing though.
Yeah.
I saw a post on Facebook where we keep getting these little bits of news that is it Idris Elba is really going to be the next James Bond?
I hope.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
No, it is not difficult at all. It is not difficult at all because James Bond is a white Scottish guy. He's wrote that way. And so, therefore, Idris Elba is not appropriate to play him. Just like you wouldn't stick there a white Othello or have John Cleese as the Queen of England.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And to be honest, this is nothing. Idris Elba is one of my favourite actors. I mean, obviously, in terms of the fact that Bond is white and he is not, is the issue. But the reason why I don't think he's appropriate is not because he's black. If he was, a white guy, if the only difference is the colour of his skin there, I think he'd be perfectly fine for the part. But there's this argument, and this is something that goes on online an awful lot. You see these arguments coming up about it's being racist. It's not being racist. When a part is wrote in a specific way,
I know
that's
what you
the
mean.
part. And the people say, well, why can't, he play it? It's got nothing at all to do with anything other than the fact that how it was originally wrote, because the character was based on Ian Fleming, who was also a white, like lower upper class sort of bloke in terms of that. And it's just, it's not to do with him as an actor. He's absolutely brilliant. I love the stuff that he's in. But to me, changing something to make it fit the actor takes it away from the source material too far. And also, it's kind of, a lot of people say it's insulting that he can't do it. I don't think it is. I think it's insulting that it's kind of like after years turning around and saying, well, we can have a black actor do it. No, that's not right. Why can't he have his own thing? Why does it have to be James Bond? Why can't he be another 00 agent and let's just move away from James Bond? Let's have 008 or 006 or whatever, or 001. It could be a spin-off film about the security service and have him as the main star. He would be absolutely fantastic. The only other thing that's going up against him as well is his age. Because isn't he about the same age as Daniel Craig?
I don't know. Well, then again, remember, Daniel Craig has been doing this for 10 years, believe it or not.
I know, but it needs it needs somebody in the early late 30s, early 40s. And I think that Daniel Craig's about as old as I am. Yeah. So Idris Elba is 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig, he's actually a bit older than me. He's 50, but that still doesn't leave him a lot of time to be. I always thought he was the same age as me. It doesn't leave him a lot of time to be a Bond. It's only sort of like 5 or 6 years, because once you start hitting over that 50, I'd thought a better, somebody said a better actor would have been Tom Hardy, but I can't see that. He's a bit too, I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, depending on who they choose and who's available for a contract is always an issue.
Yeah.
Who would I rather like to see in there? Who would I like to see playing that? I'm trying to think who. Possibly, let me think. It'd have to be very British, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
What about Tom Hiddleston?
Well, I've said Tom Hiddleston right from the start. To me, he has, after you looked at him in Night Shift, I think he's got what it takes, and he does carry that look that is, I think, more in keeping with the books than Idris would ever be able to achieve.
He has got that. He has got that suave, debonair look about him, isn't he? He's Bond.
But Idris Elba's a suave, debonair kind of guy, and I think, but also, he's such a good character, and I hate saying that I don't think he's right for Bond based on the fact that he's a black guy, but that's the only reason why, because the character is white, and not because of him, but because of the character.
Yeah.
And that's not being discriminatory. And a matter of fact, I believe that under legislation, acting is one of those areas where you can't, you're not being discriminated against because of that sort of thing.
Yeah, true.
But I don't. It is difficult. I mean, one of the other ones that I was wondering was Henry Cavill.
No.
Why? Look at him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I don't know. Too beefy.
Why is he too beefy?
All I'm saying is, when I was witnessing him in another movie, which we'll talk about a little bit later, he seemed very wide. Maybe, I don't know if it's a good camera shot or what, but it just seemed too much of a bigger person. Bond's always been this sort of, I'm not going to say slim, but he had that, that certain build. And Henry Cavill hasn't got that build.
Okay. What about Michael Fassbender?
Possibly. I could see that.
Yeah.
But again, it's
right.
Who's available, isn't it?
Well, let's face it, they clear the schedule for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
What about Ryan Gosling?
Is he British?
Does it matter?
I think it does. I know Americans can put a good British accent on, and there's a few that can do that very well. But it's a British institution, and I think it should be a British actor.
Okay. Christian Bale.
No, he's Batman, and that's nothing else he can be. He is, yeah.
All right. How about he's one right off the wall? What about Jason Statham?
No.
Well, I could do the action. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he could do, but no, I don't know. I don't know if Tom Hiddleston's much. I don't know what age he is. I don't think he's that old, is he?
I mean, the thing is, I think that Tom Hiddleston's got the look. I can't stand him. As
Oh, really?
In terms, well, he's 37.
Well, that's probably because if they're going to get another Bond in, maybe for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That would put him then at, say, 47. Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, to me, I think all of this with Idris, with the greatest of respect to Idris, like I said, I think he's a fantastic actor.
No, don't get, there's no prejudice in this in any shape or form. It's just what we're...
I think we're traditionalists, aren't we? We like Bond the way that we've always grown up with Bond.
Absolutely. I think...
And
I know that there's changes in the world and in the ways of acting, with actresses, with the males, and how everything is perceived now in a different PC world that we live in.
But this is the point, though, isn't it? Because this is social justice gone bananas.
Yeah.
All of it, But if it was the other way around, it would be accused of us being wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this is what is unjust. It's like we got a new female Doctor Who. After
I'm actually looking forward to that. To see how that's going to pan out. To be honest, but that's another chat for another night.
Yeah, well, you and I have very diverse sort of opinions on that kind of thing.
Should we move on, because we could be just rambling all night on that one.
We could be, because it is a shame, but I can't see why they can't make him a new series of films to do. Why do we have to have Bond all the time? To be honest, I've not been enjoying Bond since Daniel Craig's taken over at all, and I'd be quite happy for Bond to go and be put to rest, and someone new came in personally, and that's been a lifetime. I
don't think Eon Productions would agree with you.
No, because they want to earn money. Let's face it, they don't care about Bond. They care about making films that they're going to get profit out of. But in terms of anything else, it'd be absolutely fantastic if you could have a really good series of films with Idris Elba or whoever in. But
I mean, it's funny because there have been, obviously we've had the change over the years with Bond. It's sort of a thing we look forward to seeing who the next Bond's going to be. Where in the background, where we've had little changes with other characters, but no one really says much about that. We've had different Felix Leiters.
Well, there's been a Black Felix Leiter, hasn't there?
And then
there's nothing the matter with that.
And then
at
when
all.
you had Bernard Lee playing M, which is the only person that should be playing M, we ended up with the woman playing M at one point, didn't we?
Well, for more than one point. As a matter of fact, I think she played M more than actually. Then Judi Dench played M more than the original M played
Bernard Lee. Yeah, because I think Bernard Lee. I don't know how come. I'll have to look at it later. But I remember. I'm trying to think. What can I remember him in? I can remember him in You Only Live Twice, and some of the early Roger Moore ones. So we go. There's quite a fair few he was in.
Yeah, but you think about it. Dame Judi Dench was there from GoldenEye right up until Skyfall.
Yeah.
That's a lot of movies. That's all the Pierce Brosnan ones.
I have to Google who's been there the longest.
But, I mean, but that was Dame Judi Dench. And to be honest, M was a character that was transitional.
Yeah.
Because M was a designation. Mind you, like 007 is a designation. So why not? Let's have, here's the answer. Let's have 007, but it's not James Bond, it's a different character. And then let's get Idris Elba in, because he would be fantastic in that sort of film.
Mm.
But he isn't James Bond, but he can be 007. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that'd work. Because, is it about James Bond or is it about the role of 007?
I know what you mean. I mean he died in 1981. So he probably did get a few under his belt.
Yeah. But he wasn't in all of the ones anyway.
No, because Dr. No, I think then he referred to him.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about, when he said Dr. No, I was thinking about the Alan Partridge.
Did you like that?
Yeah, well,
we've got to mention it. Because obviously that was from an episode.
It was.
But
so
go on.
Earlier today, Steve sent me a YouTube clip of Alan Partridge annotating the opening of The Spy Who Loved Me.
Which I think I had to give it to you because it's one of your favourite Bond movies, isn't it? So
It is my favourite Bond movie, absolutely. And also, I loved Alan Partridge as well. But when you said about Dr. No there, I was thinking about Alan Partridge in the episode. Says, well, if it was made up where you guys are, it'd be Dr. No.
He was saying about Timothy Dalton, and he was trying to put that accent on, and it's class, absolutely class.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Yeah, but anyway, come on, let's keep this week moving.
All right then. So in that case, then let's have the new releases at the cinema. So not much really. On the 16th of August, we've got Christopher Robin, which has Obi-Wan Kenobi in it. Ewan McGregor.
Oh, okay.
And he's Christopher Robin, evidently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw. This is a live-action movie as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But I must admit, I don't think that Pooh Bear looks like Pooh Bear. Looks far too scruffy for a start off. But whatever. 17th of August, we have the film that needed no sequel, The Equalizer 2.
Saw the trailer for that yesterday.
Yeah, I still don't like Denzel Washington. So, I don't know, I much prefer Wesley Snipes to Denzel Washington. I don't know why. Out of the two, I think that Snipes is a better actor.
Yeah.
Having said that, what was that one he was on with Chris Pine, where it was this train that wouldn't stop.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah. That I really enjoyed that film. That's one of the
I haven't
one
seen
of the
that for
films that I actually
donkeys,
enjoyed
actually.
him in.
That's worth a rewatch, that.
It is. It is a really good, enjoyable film. Is that one actually? That's actually one of my favourite Denzel Washington movies. And then what's the other one? That one where it's time travel. That he does.
Is it on the train? Can I get confused?
No, that's not him.
It's not that one, is it?
No, I know the one that you're thinking.
It's the guy that
it
it was the guy that was in one of those disaster movies, wasn't it? That was on the train.
Yeah, Deja Vu
That's it.
is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I quite enjoyed him in that. But and that other the one about the train was Unstoppable.
Yes.
So I think they're my two favourite Denzel Washington movies. And God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness. I don't know what that one is. I've not seen any trailers for that.
No, I've not heard about that one before. So
yeah. Okay. Do you want me to do the DVD and Blu-rays that I picked them out?
I'm just looking at. There's not a lot there, but I will mention one if that's all right.
Go on then.
Steptoe & Son, the American pilot episode, which
that's one of them I've balded.
which I love. Steptoe & Son from the British point of view, which we had, which was by probably from one of our greatest writers at the time when it came out.
Yeah.
But the American version is going to be awful. It's going to be dreadful, I'm going to say.
I'm going to keep open-minded, but I can't see the British humour doesn't work the same.
Well, it didn't for 40 Towers, for example, did it? Because they transitionised that over. Okay, I think The Office worked very well for some reason. I think that was okay. But you know.
But that was because of Steve Carell. He's absolutely fantastic.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
He's such a good sense of humour as that guy.
Yeah. The Quiet Place, that's an interesting one because I've not seen that.
No, I really want to see that. And evidently it's sort of like completely, silent for most of the movie.
Yes, and
actually it's got the guy off The Office on there as well.
The
one who played Martin Freeman's role.
Yeah, because he's married to the leading lady in that movie.
Is he?
I think it's... Yeah, I'm sure. I remember watching Graham Norton when the film came out, and they had them both on there.
Yeah.
And they were just chatting. He was chatting about The Office, obviously, and about how they work with their children because they're both actor and actresses doing their stuff. But yeah, I apparently it would have been better to see this in the cinema because there'd been people trying not to munch their popcorn when it's deadly quiet.
Yeah.
But my daughter, I don't know how she saw it. God knows. But yeah, she said she quite enjoyed it. But we'll let you guess on how she saw that. Because she's only 16, bless her.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking forward to A Quiet Place to come out, to be honest. Not one I'd be able to watch with my wife or son around because I could talk constantly.
Yeah.
So, some other good ones as well is The Blacklist Season 5.
If you're into The Blacklist, of course.
Yes. But it's a good... Yeah, I quite enjoyed that as a series. Have you watched it?
No. I probably, if I had the time, maybe I could start watching it on Sky and sure they're all there.
You do... You know what it is?
Not off the top of my head, no. I couldn't without having to double check.
Well, basically, it's about an ex-government agent named Raymond Reddington who's been who's been a fugitive for years. Gets in contact with the FBI to help them take down a blacklist of people, and it's got James Spader in it.
Okay.
I think you'll enjoy it if you watched it, to be honest. Anyway, the other one that's in there is The Expanse Season 1.
That's on Netflix, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it looks Well, I've seen a bit of it. It's quite good, but I've not got the hook into it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I tell you what.
Anyway,
talk about future Blu-rays. November is going to be Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
But I don't think that'll be 4K. That'll just be a standard Blu-ray, I think.
Oh, God, imagine if it's 4K.
I'd have to look into that, but they didn't. I don't think it was mentioned about it. It just said it was coming out.
Well, if it said Blu-ray, then it's not UHD, is it?
No.
Such a shame. But because they'll be wanting us to buy the Blu-ray version so that in a year's time they can say, and here's the 4K version.
Absolutely, yeah. These companies are good at that, aren't they?
We're wise to their wily ways. So, do you want to do the charts?
Yep. So, number 5, we've got Hotel Transylvania 3, A Monster's Vacation. Believe it or not, these 3 movies have been Adam Sandler's most profitable movies.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like him nowadays, do they?
They don't. But no, they've been making a fair bit of money. 4...
I heard, I don't know whether or not this is true, but I'd heard that Adam Sandler had actually moved to Durham.
Really?
Really?
Durham. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, it's where the Pink Panther learned his trade, wasn't it?
Durham. 4 is The Incredibles 2. 3, down from 2 is Mission Impossible Fallout.
And you can tell us all about this one.
Oh, mate, what a movie. Number 2, up from 3 is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Oh, God.
And at number 1, the movie you saw this week, which is Adamant.
And
and
Prince Charming.
Yeah. Class. So...
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not Adamant. Got me to it now.
Go on, do the DVD charts then, go on.
DVD, yeah, we're so professional, aren't we? DVD charts. At number 5, we have Tomb Raider. Up from 5 to 4, we have Thor Ragnarok. At 3, staying there, is The Greatest Showman. At number 2, down from 1, is Peter Rabbit. And at number 1, John Boyega will be very happy, it's Pacific Rim Uprising. So there we go. I'm surprised, actually, because that's been out for a few weeks, why it's taken so long as a new entry. To be honest, that's a bit weird, but never mind.
Yeah, so should we swiftly move through to the next bit?
Yeah, do you want to do what you've been watching this week?
Okay, so what I've not written, what I've got, I would say, I won't put any sort of notes to it, but I did actually go back and watch an old shark movie this week. I actually watched it last night. And that was the one that's set on a station at sea. And do you know what? It's suddenly just gone right out of my brain.
I didn't think it was going to be set in a station on land.
No, but it's set. They're set on an experimental station at sea.
Is this the one with? Is it Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Is it Lawrence Fishburne or is it
Bone?
What?
Is it Fishbone?
No, it's Fishburne, isn't it?
I don't know. Anyway, only about 2 people actually survived the shark attacks during this movie. And there is a sequel as well, which I didn't know one existed. As you're going to remind me what this movie's called in a minute.
Well, as long as it's Lawrence Fishburne. And not Fishbone.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's Lawrence Fishburne?
I don't know. Have a look on Internet Movie Database. Let's be so unprofessional about it.
We haven't even told me what the title of the movie is.
I can't remember.
That's a weird name for a movie.
I'm terrible at the moment. I think it's because I've had too much Coke over the weekend.
Coca-Cola, I hope you mean.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that's got a completely different connotation and it's not suitable for the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what this film is that you're on about.
Look, this is going to be so unprofessional.
So Steve's watched a film that was so good he couldn't even remember the title of it.
Yeah.
Starring Lawrence Fishburne. Oh, God, we've got to get a grip on this show, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, with dogs barking in the background. It's actually Fishburne, actually.
Yes, it is.
It's called Deep Blue Sea. That's it. That reminds me of it.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, you haven't? It's all right. It's actually, I'm going to say it's CGI sharks in this one.
Right, going back to 1999.
Yeah.
And it's actually Samuel L. Jackson. So it's a completely different actor.
No. Is it? Oh,
yes, it is. It's not long. It's not Morpheus.
Should we quit podcasting now?
Well, it explains why I couldn't find what the movie was, doesn't it, really? Because, you were going for it was Morpheus, and it wasn't at all.
Yeah. Oh, dear, I'm dreadful sometimes. I think it just goes like that,
Yeah.
Well, saying that, we were having a not a bit of an argument. There's one of the guys in the movie. His name's Michael Rappaport. And we're all saying we've seen him somewhere. I went, let me look in that movie database. So we're scouring through it, and I couldn't find it. But then we googled his name, and he'd been in Prison Break. But when you go to his Internet Movie Database, it's not in there.
Yeah,
I always put it as read that the Internet Movie Database is pretty much up to date. But we couldn't actually find it. But anyway, regardless of that, it's a great shark movie. Well worth a watch if you got it. It's on Sky at the moment. If you got the movies, you can download it there and just play it to your heart's content. It's well worth a watch.
And the sequel is originally titled Deep Blue Sea 2.
2, I know. I'm not even going to look to see what that's all about. Anyway,
I would say it's probably about Deep Blue Sea and sharks.
Yeah.
Just a wild stab in the dark guess. And I don't know if Jules Winfield will be in there as well. Samuel L. Jackson.
Fishbone. No, it's classic, isn't it? Anyway, so I did watch Scanners this week, which I picked up on eBay, and I just love that David Cronenberg movie. If you haven't seen it, it's not really that really much available on Blu-ray too much. I think you have to hunt it for a bit.
Yeah.
But it's an early 80s movie about people that are telepathic that can make people's heads explode. Michael Ironside's the baddie in there. He's a great baddie as usual. Just a great movie. Really love it. It makes him a bit dated now, but it doesn't bother me at all. The Blu-ray transfer looks pretty good. So yeah, that one's really cool.
Here's the thing. Did you know that the exploding effect of the head was accomplished by filling the latex head of the actor with dog food, leftover lunch, fake blood and rabbit livers, and shooting it from behind with a 12-gauge shotgun?
Do you know what? It is such a great effect. Now, I know we're going to chat about CGI later, maybe, but
that's not CGI. That's practical.
No, practical effects are the best. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that one, and I won't go into the. Actually, it'd be worth. I'll have to look at the special features to see if there's anything on the special effects for the end fight sequence between two scanners. But it's eye popping. Let's put it that way.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. So Ready Player One. It was on the cuff. My daughter said she hadn't seen it. I was in Sainsbury's at the time getting a couple of pizzas. So it happened to fall in my basket.
Oh, look at how that happened. I don't know how that got there, honestly.
Yeah. The transfer is really good. I was well impressed with that.
Is it true 4K?
I have not looked into that. Is it? Have you looked it up?
No, I haven't.
But
I am doing now, though.
I can hear you going like that. So I think, I mean, I enjoyed watching it for probably about the third or fourth time. I was more relaxed watching it. I wasn't looking out for anything that I hadn't seen before. Just solely sat and enjoyed. It's one of those films you can always put on. Doesn't matter if you put it on halfway through. or anywhere in the movie, you just sit and you carry on watching it. You know, unfortunately, they're all a bit pricey at that when they come out at the moment. Still, they're not down in price as much, but you do get a code for a digital version. You got the Blu-ray as well. So I suppose that's how they warrant £25 these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I must admit, I'd rather they reduce the price
and just give you the Blu-ray disc. Sorry, the 4K disc maybe. But I don't mind having both because it's handy that I can, you know. Sometimes I've actually lent the Blu-ray disc at one of mine before and someone's watched it, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously the digital version, which these days I've got a little few to download and I haven't really you've done that recently, but I really need to get hold of that, grips of that and probably download them. So I do have a copy of some of these movies. But it doesn't seem that long ago when it came out, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was only a few months back.
Yeah. But just a great movie, a great feel-good movie, I think. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I got this as well. But to be honest, I've only actually watched the digital download version of it just because it wasn't appropriate for me to sit where I would normally watch my 4K movies because we've only got one TV in the house that's actually capable of playing them anyway.
Yeah.
So I've yet to try it out on 4K, which is a bit of a shame.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get a chance, though.
I'm sure I will.
Have you looked at I don't often do it these days, but some of this sort of movie's worth looking at, the special features. Anything, did you have a look at that?
I haven't looked.
No. Okay, so Saturday, went to see Mission Impossible Fallout. And what am I going to say about this film? What a movie. Thoroughly enjoyed this. I think if you've got to see a Mission Impossible movie, you've got to see it in the cinema.
Right.
Because it was fantastic. You have seen it, haven't you?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
No, I want to see it.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. In a minute, I'll praise Tom Cruise to the hilt. And I will retract last week's question and say, who would I want to meet? I think it would be Tom Cruise. That guy.
He's mad as a box of frogs.
As being mad, but he is such a professional actor. It's unbelievable. Without going into too much detail, the story's about these nuclear spheres that have gone walkies due to one of their missions going pear-shaped. And they're out there to get these spheres back before they get detonated in these special devices. Takes them across all sorts of places with some great stunts in there. The director for this movie did the last one, which I think is pretty much appropriate because it's like you probably could call it a sequel, to be honest. And that I won't say why, but that's how I would look at it. And this is going to be up there for me. I don't know about you with how you rate the movies. I think my favourite's always been the first one.
I've enjoyed the whole series of them, to be honest.
And I'll put this one up there as one of the best ones out of the whole series. Tom Cruise's stunts and what he did to make this film is unbelievable. As we know, he broke his leg at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, very badly, wasn't it? It looked unnatural, the way that his ankle had twisted. Yeah.
And I'll put it into here. I actually showed my daughter a bit of VR with the Samsung Gear. And what I found, we went onto the Samsung VR app, and there was 3 little specials to do with Mission Impossible Fallout. And I mean, if you've seen the trailer, I'm sure, haven't you?
Yes.
So you've seen there's going to be a helicopter chase at some point in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is that you're watching it from the perspective. You're hearing some voiceovers from the director the special effects, but the stunt guys and said the stunt coordinator, shall I say, and Tom Cruise, and he's hanging upside down under a helicopter. And this Tom Cruise does this himself. He's just awesome. And the way the camera's pitched from what you're watching in VR is you're alongside him underneath the helicopter.
Right.
And it's pretty impressive and showing you how some of these stunts were done. And in another one, you're sitting in a helicopter with him while he's flying the helicopter. And not knowing is that before this film come to release, for 14 months he was learning to fly a helicopter for this movie. And how do you call for dedication for that?
To be honest, I think out of all of the actors, he's got one of the most dedicated work ethics.
God, he has, yeah.
You know, he really does go that extra mile, I think, for the parts that he does.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun ride action movie, like all the Mission Impossible movies are. There's a little bit of comedy thrown in there. At one point, there's an oh my god moment in there and stuff, and it's just utterly fantastic, and it's just a roller coaster ride. Henry Cavill with that tash, I got used to it. I expected him to get his shirt off and fly, as if he was Superman.
Yeah,
but it was okay. They obviously brought about a lot of characters again. Obviously, Simon Pegg's in there playing Benji again, and there's a few other returning characters which I won't talk about. But it is such a fantastic movie and worth watching at the cinema if you get the chance. The soundtrack this time lended more to the 60s as well, because they had some of the little snippets of how that soundtrack went for the TV show as well, memories come flooding back for that. And oh god, it's just a great movie. I actually showed my daughter because she's not seen any of the other movies, so I started showing her. I think it was Mission Impossible 2 with is it Seymour Hoffman? Who's the bad guy in that one. But I can't praise Tom Cruise. He's top man for me. Whether or not this is the last Mission Impossible, who knows? I mean, at the moment he's dealing with Top Gun now, so we look forward to that. And I'm sure he'll be flying them planes in that movie. You know. Yeah. But I say, if you've seen the movie and if you've got a bit of VR to do, check out those little stunt coordinations they show you. Really interesting to see that. And I can't. Honestly, this is my movie of the year for me so far. Just utterly fantastic. It's just heart-wrenching, some of these scenes of chases, bikes, cars, helicopters, trucks, everything. Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that this deals with a lot of the after effects of the previous one?
It does, because the director, as the director did the last movie, it's it all knits together, shall we say. Yeah. But that's all I'm going to say. Right. But I loved the last one. Was very good as well. Okay. But if you get a chance to go and see it, I would recommend it. Yeah. I know you get to go to more cinema than I do these days, but
I don't get to go that often, to be honest.
But unfortunately, it was in like screen 6 for me, which wasn't too bad. But the iSense sound and everything was there, and it was just cracking up cranking that noise up. And seeing Tom run across London the way he did, it was amazing.
He has a big love for London, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves coming to the UK, doesn't he? He gets a lot out of it, and the scenes in France as well, they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant as well. But overall, just a great movie, really was. I can't praise this film enough. I'd give it at least a 10 out of 10 if I was going to rate it. So yeah, that's me really. Okay. So how was Adam Ant?
Well, Ant-Man and the Wasp So this is obviously the latest in the Marvel movies, and follows on a couple of years after the events of Civil War. So Paul Rudd, aka Ant-Man, is basically under house arrest for breaking the Kosovo Accords and helping Captain America to, do whatever in terms of Civil War.
Yeah.
And so, he's he got arrested and put under house arrest, and Michael Douglas's character and Angelica Lilly, or whatever her name is, her character, they both sort of like are now wanted fugitives. And anyway, it's 3 days before his his end of his parole, his house arrest part of his incarceration, and as you can imagine, that's sort of where the jeopardy comes in for him, because he's suddenly thrown back into the world of Ant-Man.
Yeah,
because he has this very vivid dream of the Wasp's mother, Michael Douglas's wife, who was lost, in the quantum realm. He has this very vivid message from her, and he immediately contacts Hank, played by Michael Douglas, to say, "I've had this really weird dream, blah blah blah," and then he doesn't really know why he's done it, and he breaks up this hidden phone that he's had because the FBI keep going in and raiding his house and whatever, and to see if he's breaching his parole conditions. And anyway, the next thing is he gets abducted by the Wasp. She takes off this sensor on his ankle bracelet, and then they go off, and that's where the story all sort of erupts from, because he was building up a relationship with her as well. And the reason why he's lost contact with her and her father is because he took the Ant-Man suit to go and help Captain America and didn't ask permission to use it.
Right.
So they're a bit peed off with him. And it fits within the Captain America storyline, especially if you watch the end credits right till the end. There is something that happens that directly ties into what happened with Thanos. Yeah. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that because you haven't seen Infinity War yet, and I want you to see that. And then, we'll do we will do a spoiler discussion on that, and we will put that very plainly, that we'll do a spoiler discussion. So, in terms of all of that, it fits in very nicely into there. It also explains why Ant-Man isn't up there with, Captain America and Iron Man and everybody else fighting Thanos.
Yeah.
So it sort of deals with that in a bit more of a subtle way. And to be honest, given the type of character that Ant-Man is probably fitting as well. Although it doesn't reference it directly, it gives you the context that you can understand why he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay? That's because of his incarceration. That's not a big spoiler in any way, shape or form. So this film, the fight scenes in it are absolutely brilliant because it's, there's bits with the Wasp where, she's fighting a load of bad guys, right at the beginning of the movie, and she's, shrinking down, getting big, shrinking down, getting big all the time, doing, all of these kicks and moves on them all and that, and it's so good, really enjoyable. It's one of those films that it's a standalone product in the Marvel universe, but all ties into the same universe at the same time. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. It I don't think the film in any way makes any bones about you're just there for fun with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And but not Adamant and the Wasp. But you're just there for fun to really kind of enjoy it. And as long as you take it for that, you'll enjoy it. If you're expecting it to like massively progress the Marvel universe, or you want really no comedy, very serious acting, don't watch it. You won't enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
But if you're just, wanting a bit of a rompy film that's got loads of action and is fun, this is, one of those Marvel films that you really want to watch for that purpose. Completely different type of film to Black Panther, which was superb, gave lots of background about Wakanda and about the character of Black Panther for those who weren't as aware of him in, the Marvel universe. So it was a superb movie for that, and set up elements of Infinity War as well. But this one, it doesn't need to reference any of the other movies. It's just its self-contained little adventure that's really quite fun. Good humour and everything. And Paul Rudd, when he's playing his character, he comes across as just which is what his character is, an everyday Joe who's forced into this world of the extreme, and he has to kind of cope with it. And really all he is a dad who just cares about his daughter.
Yeah.
So,
but it's well worth seeing, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I see you got another one in here actually, which I haven't seen it in 4K actually.
The Secrets at Kingsman. Yeah, it looks really good. I don't know whether or not it's an upscaled one. By the way, Ready Player One is. All of the Oasis stuff was shot in 2.8K.
Right.
And evidently the live action sequences were mastered in 2K despite being recorded in 35mm. So, to me, Ready Player One, it should have all been 4K, that. I can't see any reason why it shouldn't have been a true 4K movie.
Yeah.
But Kingsman, The Secret Service, I picked this up. It's one of the cheapest 4K UHDs now.
How much you pay for it?
$13.99.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen the sequel yet. But I do have it on my Skybox now because it was this weekend's movie.
Right. Well, it's an enjoyable film. It's not as good as the first one, but it's one of those films of disengage your sense of reality and just go along for the ride and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I do love the first one very much. I could just any time of the day I could put that movie on. Again, halfway through it, I could just stick it on or whatever. If it's on the TV, I just sit and watch it.
And I'll tell you one thing: this movie convinced me I was always right about one thing, and that is, it shouldn't have been Daniel Craig as Bond. They got the wrong man, because I think Colin Firth in this, which is a Bond sort of character, he was brilliant. And to be honest, I think that he will have probably have thought that he was going to be Bond at some point.
Don't know. I mean, he's getting on a bit now, isn't he?
No, I know. But I mean, before, go back 20 years ago, I think he'd have thought, I'll be Bond next. And then he never did. And this, to me, feels like one of those things of...
Well, I think because of the type of movies he was filming at the time, you would have seen him doing not Bridget Jones, that was probably a bit later.
No, that for the first one.
Not for the first one, yeah. But you've got some of the stuff they're not really action movies. This is the first time.
No, he was doing period drama and stuff like that. But he was pigeonholed. Yeah, he was pigeonholed into that sort of stuff. And then you look at this and you think, my God, you would have been a brilliant Bond. He has the look for a Bond.
Yeah.
He has the suaveness in bucket loads to be Bond, and he can do the fight sequences. That, you know, he would have been a good Bond. People used to laugh at me before Kingsman came on, said, I think you should have Colin Firth as Bond. And people used to laugh at me, and then this film came out and all of them shut up. Because it is a perfect testament to he could have done that sort of movie easily. Because he's a brilliant actor. But, you know, I love Kingsman. The first Kingsman movie is by far the best.
Yeah.
There's not to say that the second Kingsman's bad, it's just not as good.
I've already seen the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I need to sit and watch it properly one evening.
Oh, you do. It's the type of film you've got to take all in one go. Yeah. You can't watch it piecemeal.
I know they are thinking of doing a third as well, and I think everyone was disappointed with the second movie. If you look back at some of the reviews, it was a bit poorly made. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to say just yet. I'm expecting it to fail in front of me, but if it turns out to be not bad, then, you know, all well and good.
Yeah. It's not bad. If, to be honest, it's much better than Justice League was.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of a movie.
But then again, I took that for what it was and really enjoyed it. So
yeah, and I think if you take this for what it is, or rather the second one, the Golden Circle, if you take that for what it is, you'll enjoy it. Absolutely.
Yeah, there is a great cast in there. That's the thing, isn't it?
There is. And, you know, it's like on the first one, you know, the cast of characters that were in there was absolutely brilliant. I've forgotten what was said him earlier on. It was on my brain's gone. It's obviously getting too late on a night. It was in Pulp Fiction. Jules off Pulp Fiction. What's his name?
Oh,
Mace Windu.
Your turn.
Why? Hang on a minute. I did these both for you. You're supposed to find him this time, aren't you?
I'm doing it as we speak. So, yeah, I mean...
Samuel L. Jackson. Thank you. I've just remembered it myself. Quicker. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is... I love the way that he plays this character. You know, as the evil bad guy on Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Yeah.
Who, you know, he invents a device that ends up people killing each other, and if it turns right up to the max, it can make the head explode, and yet he abhors violence and is repulsed and the sight of blood makes him sick. But his assistant is an assassin who has swords for legs and chops people in half.
Well, we'll see. When you think about it, you've got Colin Firth, you've got Mark Strong, who played Merlin.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's done some other movies in the past.
I'll tell you what, I love Mark Strong in Kick-Ass.
Oh, was he? Do you know? I can't remember if he was in.
He is. He's the bad guy in Kick-Ass.
Oh, I'll probably have to rewatch that.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to. That is that is one of my favourite comedy films. Action.
You've got Mark Hamill, obviously playing Professor Arnold.
Yeah, yeah.
And he sounds like the Joker, doesn't he? A little bit.
He does.
That hoarse voice. And not that many people are going to recognise Sophia Boutella, who is the girl with the legs with the swords on the end on her artificial limbs.
Yeah.
Who was in Star Trek Beyond? We don't forget.
She was.
And Michael Caine, you know.
Yeah.
It's a typical great. Some good British actors. Obviously, you got mustn't forget. What's his name now? Is it Tarragon? Who plays
Etsy? Yeah,
Eggsy as well. So yeah, it's.
And tell you what, he can play Taron Egerton.
Yes, thank you.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he plays Eggsy, and he also did the I forgot what the film was. Let me have a quick look on IMDb.
Was it? Did he
Eddie
do
the
Robin
Eagle?
Hood?
He did the Eddie the Eagle movie.
Yes, he did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Playing Eddie the Eagle, and he was brilliant in that as well. He really was.
I've not actually seen that movie, and I've been when it comes around at some point, I'll have a look.
I'll tell you what, in 10, 15 years' time, Bond.
You think so?
Yeah. 10 or 15 years' time, because he was born in 89, so what, is he 30? Not quite 30, is he? 29?
Yeah.
So, yeah, say about another, 7 or 8 years, I reckon that he could be Bond material. Because you look at him when he's on the end of Kingsman, and right throughout the Golden Circle when he's in the suit, he looks the part. He looks good.
Yeah, maybe. Things will all come around to these British actors. They all think they can be playing Bond, you know.
Yeah. I know, but I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just, can be the next Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
Didn't he do a sort of a Robin Hood movie? I'm just thinking that out loud here.
Who are you talking about now?
Taron.
He
did, didn't he?
Yes,
This year, sorry.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's been released yet, though, has it?
I'm not sure, actually. Not sure at all. If it has.
Yeah. It's an in-production title.
Yeah.
So it's not been released yet.
No.
Not yet, but that's not to say it won't do.
Yeah. Oh, funnily enough, look who the Sheriff of Nottingham is.
Who is it?
It's the guy that plays in Ready Player One as the baddie for IOI.
Oh, yeah, Director Krennic.
Yeah.
He's Australian, isn't he? He's a good actor.
Yeah, I think he did his sitting home in a way like most of them did.
He's 2 years older than me. God, that makes me feel old all of a sudden.
Yeah. But there's probably still a few good movies to come out this year.
Oh, there are a lot of still good movies to come out, I think.
But
it's not going to be a Star Wars one at Christmas.
That's great. Makes a change. I'm anti-Star Wars at the moment.
I know you are.
But give it a break. That's what it needs.
Yeah. So my last one then is, this was on the actually film 4, to be honest, and it's 1,000 words. Have you seen this one?
Sounds like a tune you're about to sing or something.
No, it's actually an Eddie Murphy movie.
Really?
So yeah,
I'm just having a look now.
So in this film, Eddie Murphy's like this high-flying executive.
Yeah.
Who's always, like going into acquisitions or whatever. Or is it advertiser? I can't remember anyway. But anyway, he meets this spiritual guy who, and he ends up getting a tree. And basically what he's told is, every word that he says, one leaf will drop from the tree, and when the tree dies, he will die. So it's sort of like one of these very much, feel good movies. It's not quite a chick flick.
Yeah.
But it's, because there's no romance sort of element other than his already existing wife and child.
Yeah.
But it's just completely and utter, Eddie Murphy, funny business going on right throughout the whole film. It's because obviously he's dying to say stuff, and then as soon as if he blurts out anything, the leaves start falling off this tree. Then he starts panicking that he's going to die, sort of thing. And it's just so it's so funny.
When did it come out? Because I'm just
it's an old film. It's an old film. Let's have a look. Actually, not that old. It's 9th of March 2012. So, it's, what, 6-year-old?
Yeah, it's not too long, is it?
Yeah, he's a literary agent. And he finds a Bondi tree on his property.
I'll tell you why I couldn't find it. It's actually spelled thousand,
yeah,
with a T. You've got, I was Googling it for, as in numbers, if you're with me.
Okay.
So that's why I couldn't find it.
All right. Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's what it is. It's a good fun film to watch. It's just enjoyable. That's all. Obviously, where at one point where he's trying to do something in relation to his job, and he ends up getting all of these. The toys where they've got a ripcord and they'll say a word.
Yeah.
He has a load of those on his desk, and he has a whole conversation with all of these different toys. That say the sort of answers that he wants, but, in a metaphysical sort of way.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny to watch.
I'll have to look for it on Sky, but it's funny that how Eddie Murphy's career has gone so downhill.
Yeah, considering how good he was in things like Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
They were the big films for us in those days. The Golden Child, and all that.
There still looks like, looking on here, that Beverly Hills Cop 4 is maybe on the go.
I think that they should steer clear of that.
It's got his name on it at the top of his list at the moment. It's probably maybe more of a rumour. But it's funny because I loved his early creations that he did do.
Yeah.
Even really, if you go back to 48 Hours, which is a good film.
I never enjoyed that as much, but I think that's because I didn't like Nick Nolte that much.
Yeah. And obviously Beverly Hills Cop was probably what made him.
Yeah.
I
think where it started to go wrong for him was somewhere in between Dr. Dolittle and I Spy. I think that was where his career started going down. When
they started, obviously we have the idea of using prosthetics to make you look larger than life.
The Nutty Professor you're thinking of?
Yeah, I am. Now, I loved the original movie of that from the 60s.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad, it was okay actually. But where you're looking at some of these films that he's done, obviously the Nutty Professor 2, and there's some Daddy Daycare. Some of these films were probably very low in budget. Norbit, Meet Dave. Sorry, they just started to go wrong for me. I've not seen Tower Heist, which I wouldn't mind seeing because there's quite a good cast in that.
Yeah.
And obviously he did all right for Shrek as Donkey.
He was brilliant as Donkey.
Because I think most actors, when you pull off a good character in some of these sort of Pixar style type movies, DreamWorks in this case.
Yeah.
And obviously I say early 80s with The Golden Child, which I do love. Harlem Nights wasn't bad actually, as well. And obviously Coming to America, which I love that movie.
Coming to America, and James Earl Jones, my God, that man, he has a voice like liquid chocolate.
And it's funny, if anybody hasn't, well, obviously we're forgetting one of his most famous movies ever. And that's Trading Places.
Yes, with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah. But if you need, I think anyone who loved but never saw his stand-up, go and check out a couple of he did a couple of movies for his stand-up career.
Well, there was Delirious, wasn't there?
And Raw.
Yeah. I preferred Delirious, I must admit.
Which one was the one where he was talking about ice cream?
That was Delirious. The ice cream man's coming! That was so funny on that film.
Yeah, that routine he put in there, and that is well worth a watch for anybody's money. And that is Eddie Murphy at his best.
Yeah. That was when he was really in his heyday, and he was wearing that sort of like Michael Jackson Thriller
red type suit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
tight cheeks and everything.
Yeah, God, remember that. That was the 80s, very through and through.
I had that on VHS, like
So
most
did
of
I.
his movies, you know.
So did I. I used to love them. Used to absolutely love watching them. Never watched them too much because you didn't want to remember all the jokes completely off by heart.
Yeah, no, that's right. But do you remember in the Michael Jackson video, Remember the Time?
No.
As the Egyptian king?
No, don't remember that.
Yeah. But no, he's had a glorious career that really went downhill, and it is such a shame.
It is, because he was, well, for me, he was one of the actors who I grew up with.
Mm. Yeah, he's worth a fair bit, I should imagine still. And that's why we're looking at another Beverly Hills Cop movie, maybe.
That, to me, it just smacks to me of trying to capture his former greatness. And I think he'd be better off actually getting something that he can do that's new.
Yeah,
Get some good writing in, and actually do something completely fresh.
True.
Rather than trying, just do a remake of movies that we already love and ruin it. Because I think that to me, what this has got is you've got 3 really good movies with a 4th one trying to recapture the greatness like Indiana Jones, and I'm just frightened it's going to turn into another Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I mean, actually, probably number 3 wasn't great either, to be honest, if you're talking about the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
No, 3 wasn't that good. But then again, the Temple of Doom wasn't that good either.
So you say.
As an analogy. Well, we all have our opinions, don't we?
Oh, yeah. But,
I much preferred Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Just like I preferred Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, but by 3 it was getting a little bit... No,
this just the first 2 movies of those, I think, is where you class it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have the DVDs still, of the box set, actually, but I don't own them in any shape or form other than that. Yeah,
can you actually get them on Blu-ray? Or is it one of those sets of films like True Lies that you can't get?
Well, HMV have released some classic 80s movies with the sleeve being the old VHS cartridge.
Yeah.
And Beverly Hills Cop is one in that list.
Oh, is it? I keep meaning to go in there and have a look, to be honest.
So that list of movies which you got from the 80s, that we owned every one of those on VHS. I've got that VHS cartridge look and feel. And
in a matter of fact, you can get all 3 movies from Zoom for £7.69 on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I wonder what the transfer's like, though.
Well, it'll be the same transfer as every other Blu-ray. Because it's all the same boxing.
Yeah. But I, to be honest, I might even put the DVD in. I mean, I love the first film. It's great. And the music in it as well. It's all... It's one of those classic comedy films that, it's having a good classic movie that ends up being replicated, and unfortunately that's the way it goes. You're onto a winner with maybe a formula, so they go down that route.
Yeah, and they overdo it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, and I think that's probably going back to what you were saying about Star Wars. Is maybe they are overdoing it.
It is, honestly. It's that saturation, and it's too much. I don't know whether you could call Marvel a bit of a saturation.
See, I think that the Marvel universe, because of the number of characters and a number of spin-offs that they have off that core storyline,
that probably might work better because of that.
I think it works better. And I think that what they need to do with the Star Wars movies is do more an anthology, a main story, an anthology, a main story.
Yeah.
But then move it to the anthology mingles in with the main story. So it still forwards the universe, but it can act as its own self-contained thing.
Yeah. Have you ordered the dice? That's what we need to know.
Yes. I have ordered Han Solo's dice. Have you?
No.
I told you I had.
No, I remember seeing the post about it, and I never got to ask you about it.
Yeah, and I had one word with it. Ordered.
Oh, did you? Okay. We'll leave it there, shall we?
Yeah, let's leave it there. So, should we just go on to the questions then?
Yeah.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so we're just going to do a bit of a skip through the debate this time. I think matter of fact, looking at what we've got, I think we both probably agree, although we've not really talked about it that much, that the debate could actually be a special in itself, because we were going to actually do one of having a discussion of when are special effects in films too much. And that's going to cover everything, right from like the early movies, like The Last Starfighter, right the way through to modern films and things that have happened. Like,
I'm talking even earlier. I'm talking even Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Star Wars.
Yeah, all of those sort of things, but also right up until Star Wars and bringing back the dead and that sort of stuff to be on screen. So I think we'll do that one as a one-off special.
Yeah.
Rather than actually doing it, and also we'll just do this one as a bit of a shorter show. So Mark's actually sent us in some questions actually linking to what we're going to talk about. So do you prefer CGI to blend seamlessly into surroundings, or have an aurora? So thinking of Peter Cushing and Star Wars.
Well, I didn't mind that. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But where it's required, not over the top. Let's do it with every all and sundry, and have everyone back from the dead. But CGI blending in, I mean, without going into what we could talk about for hours about CGI, is that I don't like seeing too much of it.
Yeah.
Because I know it makes still look real, and it will do. But if you've gone back to watch maybe see how they filmed it, and they're climbing on green boxes, and that's all that's it. Everything else is there's nothing real about it.
And I think it makes it really difficult for the actors to just gauge where they are.
Well, if you go and watch some of the filming of, I think it would have been in the second trilogy of Star Wars movies.
Yeah, the prequels.
Yeah, and you look at I think the second movie.
Yeah.
When you got the pots of melted iron or whatever it would be, for example.
Yeah.
And you got that sort of conveyor belt which they're rolling under when things are being made.
Yes. Where they're building battle droids.
Yeah, that's it. And you watch what they're doing. They're rolling on green boxes for this.
Mm.
Now, I suppose there's an art to doing stuff like this. And there is a progression in movie making. But then when you watch practical effects, you watch stunts that are done like in Mission Impossible Fallout. There's the only bit of CGI in that film is having Tom's lanyard, which is preventing him from falling to his death. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is perfectly understandable for insurance purposes. But, I think you agree, we must have all been at awe when we saw Jurassic Park for the first time.
Yeah.
And seeing how CGI put that into place.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that was the first time that CGI had been used so effectively.
Yeah. And it worked. They were filming in Hawaii, in the forests.
Yeah.
But they were able to plunk those dinosaurs in, and it gave you that realism.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, that was done so well, it still stands up today. But that was a mixture of CGI and practical. Yeah.
Because you will have practical dinosaurs, which were just automation, if I can say the word now, which were robots.
Yeah. Animatronics.
Animatronics, yeah. So, yeah, it's just very clever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem with CGI, I think, a lot of the time is it can look too real. that real, it looks fake.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So I think.
I mean, are we gonna sort of blend this into the second question now? Because we can go into that one.
Okay, yeah.
So a mistake often made with CGI is that it's too perfect. Do you agree?
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of another movie other than a Star Wars movie, which has had so much CGI in it.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, possibly. Or
especially 2.
Yeah.
I mean...
But when you're doing off-world stuff...
Yeah, all right. What about Robert Downey Jr. at the beginning of Captain America Civil War, where they made him younger?
Yeah, true.
So...
And look at
that
Kurt
was
Russell.
mind-blowing,
And look at Kurt Russell.
Yes.
In Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Which actually, got to say, looked pretty good.
Oh, it looked amazing.
You know.
Even when you're watching it in 4K, it still looks amazing.
That's such a good film, though.
It is. But the Guardians films have you heard about what they're actually doing in terms of Guardians of the Galaxy? The whole crew has put a petition to Disney about rehiring the director.
Was it Brian Gunn? Was his name? I might have got that wrong, but I think his surname was Gunn.
Yeah.
But they've decided, to bring him back, so it's a bit weird.
Just feverishly typing away.
Yeah.
James Gunn. I knew it.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
I knew his surname was Gunn, but it's an odd one, isn't it?
It is, and it's because he made some anti-Semitic tweets, some controversial tweets.
If you want to know more about it, just go and Google it and you'll see everything that's been said.
Yeah, but also the cast wrote an open letter to Disney to rehire him.
Mm.
And I've forgotten what's his name, who plays Drax. Dave Baluster. Plays Drax on Guardians of the Galaxy. Has said that if James Gunn's not going to go ahead, he doesn't want to go ahead.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be an interesting sort of situation, because you're not going to have a Gamora.
Well, yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it?
So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to Facebook. Chris Pedersen has asked, what is your guilty pleasure movie?
I've got loads, probably, to be honest.
Yeah, as long as we don't start with Emmanuel.
Oh, right.
Okay, so now you've got 2.
Emmanuel the sequel, no. Can you think of one?
Yeah, I can actually. And it's McAvoy and Angelina Jolie, and it's Wanted.
I don't know about being a guilty pleasure. There's nothing wrong with that movie, is there?
Yeah, it's a terrible movie. But I still love it. I don't know what it is about that movie. The whole thing of twisting bullets and stuff like that, and these ridiculous shots that the assassins do.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like the original comics or graphic novels, depending upon how grown up you want to be about it.
Hmm.
But I still love that movie. There's something about it that just appeals to me.
Yeah.
And I don't watch it very often, but again, because I want to keep it special.
True. I mean, if it's... Because normally a guilty pleasure movie would be a movie you wouldn't want to talk about to somebody else, is it? Really, that's what it comes down to.
Hence your Emmanuel collection.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Oh, dear. I've got a movie that I want to keep quiet about. I can't think of one. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you're amongst friends and a few thousand listeners.
You're gonna rip my head off. A guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I do love the Bridget Jones movies.
Chick flicks.
I do. I honestly do. I really have a soft spot for Renée Zellweger. Don't ask me why, but I do.
She's not my type.
No, I just I do. Those movies do work well for me.
To be fair, they are good movies. They're enjoyable, sort of like.
And
family.
they're easy to watch, and there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah. No, they're good, feel good movies, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
So now we know that you like Mr. Darcy.
Yeah. Well, if you read the book, it's really interesting because in the book, Renée Zellweger's character gets to interview Colin Firth playing Darcy. It's just a bit odd.
Right, so now you do realise that you've actually just gone down in all of the readers' or listeners' expectations now because you've actually read the book as well.
I have, yeah. I've read the book and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It made me laugh.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
moving swiftly on.
I'll do Nikki's question. If you had to give up our reality and move into a fictional one from a video game or movie or TV, what would you choose?
I think that we'd both choose exactly the same thing.
Because we've had this similar sort of question before.
Yeah.
And to be in a world with no money, don't care about it.
Yeah.
Are you both going to say Star Trek with me?
I'm gonna say Star Trek.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want... Mark Tudor?
Mark Tudor. Well, do we want to not say why?
I think we'd be here all night.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Star Trek, because we're both Trekkers. Because you know what the difference is between a Trekker and a Trekkie?
Go on then.
A Trekkie goes up to Councillor Deanna Troi at a convention and says, "Hi, are you still seeing Commander Riker?" Whereas a Trekker goes up to Marina Sirtis and says, "Hi, what are you doing later?"
Come on.
Okay, so Mark Tudor. Have you ever sold any console, game, peripheral, or any gaming-related item only to regret it months or years later and end up buying another one? Because, and I know that he's done this because I saw his tweets, I've just ordered my second Switch after selling one in January.
Well, some people might do that because they might need the cash or something, and then
Yeah.
there is that,
Yeah. So have you?
Well, I've got rid of an Xbox 360 and recently purchased one again with the Kinect.
Yes, I was just thinking that, actually. Have you done any other ones?
As in?
Sold and rebought?
Well, the thing is, I've gone through that stage of buying every Xbox 360 version. So I've sold one, bought the new version, sold one, bought the new version. Does that count?
Yeah, I suppose it does, really. Why did you do that?
Because I don't know, like I had the original 360, then I got, was it maybe the Elite version? Then, so I had every version of the 360. Up to the latest one, which is the one I didn't have before, which I do have now, which, that square looking version of it.
Yeah.
And I think I had the Xbox. Well, I've still got my original very first Xbox behind me, but I did have the Crystal version,
right,
as well. And I shouldn't have sold that, but I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to do it sometimes, don't you, to fund your next one? I mean, in terms of, for me, the first time that I actually sold one and regretted it was I sold my PlayStation, the first one. I actually sold it to my mate who was my best man at my wedding, actually. Yeah. And I sold him like a ton of games with it as well. I mean, an absolute heck of a load. Because I needed the money to finance buying a PC.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
And then about 6 months later, I bought another PlayStation 1. But, it was more for financing my PC rather than anything else.
Yeah.
That I did that. But, I missed having it. And especially back then, because, you didn't have Steam. So, you couldn't, access all of your games, that you'd purchase from Humble Bundle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a big difference back then was PC gaming. You used to have to look after IRQ values and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. Matthew Smalley says, if you could be any character from a TV show, who would you be and what character would you actually be?
So I think he's saying two things. Who would you want to be and who do you think you actually are?
Nothing like anything else. I know that for sure.
Well, I think I know who I actually probably am.
So you would like to be Han Solo?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, why not? You end up with a princess.
I'd like to be James Bond.
That'd be a cool character to be.
Because he always gets the girl.
Yeah. So, who would you actually be?
What, the real?
Yeah, if you were in that world, there's a difference between who you would want to be in a fantasy world to who you would actually be if you were suddenly transformed into your equivalent on a TV show or a film.
I'm sure people would be screaming that I should be Homer Simpson.
Dope. Okay, so you'll be Homer Simpson. I know who I'd be.
Go on.
Lieutenant Barclay. From the Next Generation.
Yeah, I know you're about. Yeah, I know who that is.
So, yeah, I think I would probably end up being him.
Yeah.
Because I'm normally as socially awkward as he is. So, Alan Cochran has asked, why do you think that the PlayStation Vita wasn't a success like the 3DS or the Switch? Great little system, I reckon, and I agree entirely. And you've got a Switch as well, haven't you?
I do, yes. For playing Resident Evil 1 and 2. Why? I don't really know, to be honest.
I think it boils down to a couple of points, really. And that is that from launch, Sony were very lackluster about promoting it. I don't, they didn't push it the way that they pushed the PS3 and the PS4. And I think also they didn't support it. That's the other side of that as well. So it's not only did they not push it, but they then failed to support it in the way that it needed to become the next great console. It's sort of like the executives at Sony all went out for a knees up one night. Yeah. And then somebody came up to them and said, I've got this brilliant idea for a handheld console. And in a drunken stupor, the CEO turned around and said, brilliant idea, and signed it off, and someone went off to do it. And then he woke up the next morning and went, oh my God, and I can't get out of it now. That to me feels the way that Sony have supported that console right throughout its whole career, because it's a brilliant little piece of kit. Yeah. The operating system left much to be desired, which again goes down to its support. And it was left to third-party developers to support that platform after its initial launch, and I don't think that was on. Because it was only really indie people who did it.
It's great, actually. It's still great to use as if you want to play your PlayStation in the same room as your missus watching EastEnders sometimes in some games.
Mind you, so's PlayStation VR.
Oh, yeah, but that is going to be different. But what I'm saying is, you can sit there quietly, not look like someone who's strapped up to play a VR game. But the idea of using that Vita, as a second screen like that, is very clever.
Do you think that they're pushing VR more than the Vita?
God, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's almost like it came off the production line and Sony went, hasta la vista, baby.
I'm bored now. That's probably what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing as well is, I personally, and I know that other people are going to disagree entirely, but I think that the PSP's controls were better than the Vita's. I didn't like those raised sticks.
Yeah.
I much preferred the, for want of a better term, nipple controllers that the PSP had. Because of just the way that they sort of slid over the surface of the device rather than sticking up as much. And I just found them easier to control than the Vita's sticks. And also, the Vita didn't really feel comfortable in your hand. Mind you, neither did the PSP. Do you find that with your Vita?
It can be a bit clumsy at times.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to play a Destiny.
Yeah, I don't. I normally play something like baseball or something like that. That's okay to play.
Yeah.
Something with the least amount of buttons you have to push. Not try and use the pads at the behind or the bumpers that are maybe like getting your fingers around them.
Yeah. Okay.
But so next question is very interesting actually. So Paul Wilson says, none of us are getting any younger, especially you two. Do you find
Cheeky.
do you find when you go into the cinema these days, you find you have a point in a movie, regardless of how interesting or where you are, you become very tired and have a micro snooze or a power nap? And for him, it's a regular occurrence.
No, that's definitely an old man thing. And it's not something I suffer from.
Now, I'm going to say this because I've never really mentioned it before. It has happened to me a couple of times.
Something I found on Wikipedia. Aquatic craniate animals.
Tell her to shut up.
They form a sister group to the
Alexa, shut up.
Together forming the other.
Well, she found something on Wikipedia for you to solve your problem.
Well, mine actually, I forgot. Mine's actually running because I got the lights on, but she didn't say anything for me.
Yeah. So sorry, you were saying, yeah.
I have actually had this moment of elbow on the side. You just nodded off. No, I didn't. You did. And it's not because the film was boring at all. Maybe strapped in a dark room like that, sometimes you feel like you do want to nod off for a second.
Yeah.
But it has happened a couple of times for me.
I have to admit, no, I've never fallen asleep watching a film. I think that's probably because I come from North Yorkshire, and the way to describe anybody from North Yorkshire is that we're Scotsmen with the generosity removed. And the fact that I've paid to see a movie, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny because when I went to see Mission Impossible the weekend, I said, I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to nod off. And I didn't, actually. I stayed awake. Yeah. I was determined not to, But it was such a great film, and the noise and everything else, I think it probably kept me awake anyway.
Being serious, though, because this is something that I do suffer from, because I have a condition called obstructive sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And so I have to wear a mask to go to sleep. So, anybody who's into, kinky stuff, it's a really good thing.
I'm thinking of the movie Blue Velvet now.
Yeah, well, it is like that, actually, because it actually blows gale force air into my mouth all night. And it's what's known as a sleeping death, because it's something that you're never going to be aware of. You just constantly feel tired all the time. And if you snore, and particularly if you snore but you hold your breath, so you sort of like go sort of thing, you have this sudden intake of breath. What's happening is that the airways in your mouth or in your throat are closing up, and and you can stop breathing for so many seconds. And technically speaking, I was only actually breathing for about 25 minutes in every hour. Now, I have a severe case of it, Not as severe as some people have.
I know you have mentioned this before, and I do remember we talked off air before, and you chatted about it. Yeah, so yeah,
yeah.
Remember you mentioned that, yeah.
But the reason why I'm mentioning it is because if you are falling asleep, and this is just for anybody, but if you are falling asleep, it might be worth turning around to your partner, whoever they are, and say, do I actually seem to stop breathing in at night? Even for a few seconds when, if you're snoring, because my wife told me years before I actually got diagnosed of this. And it didn't matter how much sleep I got, I was always tired, and I was getting more and more and more tired. And it turned out I had obstructive sleep apnea, and that's you can end up if you don't have it treated, you can have a heart attack or a stroke. Because
there is quickly just saying there is my missus says you've got narcolepsy. She comes up with that one every time, which is another sleep disorder.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case. Because there are some people that will just nod off at the wheel.
Yeah, but that's what happened. Remember the Selby rail crash from a few years back? Well, evidently the guy who was involved in that crash had obstructive sleep apnea, and it actually makes it a reportable thing to DVLA as well. It's not an issue. You can still drive as long as you're getting CPAP therapy, which is the mask.
Yeah.
But the reason why I mention it is because one of the other common symptoms of it is micro snoozes or power naps. If when you're in a quiet place or just after your lunch or whatever and you fall asleep, it's a possible indicator of the fact that you might have it. So it's worth checking with your partner to see, do I appear to be holding my breath when I'm asleep? And if you are, get to the doctors, and the test's dead easy. You just wear something on your finger and it measures the amount of blood going through your system.
Well, I had my well man checked the other day.
Yeah.
That's what he did with me anyway then as well. I just had that test.
But this goes on overnight.
Oh, okay.
You have to wear it while you're asleep.
Yeah, and they do. Oh, okay. So
and it tests the whole night, and then it tells you how many episodes.
Yeah.
So, when I was doing it, I had something like about 84 episodes an hour, and I was breathing, not breathing for at least 30 seconds at a time. So it ended up, it was like about 20, 25 minutes I was breathing in an hour. Yeah, which is a frightening thought, But I'm just sharing that with anybody, just in case there is anybody who's a potential sufferer that has these sort of symptoms. That it's just a bit more information. Look it up as well. Obstructive sleep apnea. So,
right. Last question.
Last question is Craig Cole, not including kids, the wife, pets, and family, pics, etc. Which one thing would you save above all others in a house fire?
Now, the thing is, with insurance purposes these days, I think most things you can get back off your insurance. How easy that is these days, I haven't a clue. But it'd have to be something that you can't get back again, because maybe it's like a limited edition, maybe, or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would grab some of my vinyl, to be honest, because unless they're repressed, and sometimes they are.
But even so, you'd be able to get that on eBay or whatever.
Yeah, but what it is when they're pressed, limited edition presses they're numbered as well, and maybe coloured vinyl, for example. So when they're gone, and you can occasionally find one. I mean, there are some repressing going on, which obviously with the Halloween titles, which I'm going to be hoping to pick up all 5 of those at some point. But I've got my Wonder Woman soundtrack is pressed in gold vinyl, and it's actually pressing number 44 out of 3,000.
So very rare.
So very rare-ish. But do you know what I mean? It's once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
But then again, I did pick mine up on eBay. But there you go.
Yeah.
What about yourself? Anything you'd like to? Anything on your man cave shelf that you want to take out quickly? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be getting a trolley from Co-op, wheeling it in there quickly and grabbing as much as I can.
Just get the wheelbarrow.
Just like supermarket sweep.
No, just open the window and chuck it all out the window quick. Yeah, there is for me. I would say that the thing that I would save would be my personalised autograph from David Prowse.
Well, actually, I'd take those off the shelf as well. Even some of the photographs.
Yeah.
I'll be in my man cave grabbing as much of it as I can. We got those photographs, haven't we, with William Shatner and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we've still got those digitally as well.
True, yeah.
So, and those are on the cloud.
And also you got, but they're the ones we had the autographs of Garrett Wang and Armin as well. So
yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm looking directly at Garrett's signature, David Prowse's and Armin's all in a row. So I would grab those. I've also directly above them got my autograph from William Shatner.
Yeah.
And behind my door, I've got a Star Wars poster, the original Star Wars poster, with Luke, well, one of the original ones, with Luke standing there with his lightsaber and Princess Leia firing off to the right, or left, or whatever. I've got my film sales as well. Yeah.
with from Star Trek and Ready Player One.
Well, the Star Wars poster I've got is an authenticated thing, and it's got 21 signatures from the cast and crew, from the cast of Star Wars, from the prequels to the original trilogy. And there's people like Kenny Baker, who you're never going to get his signature again because he's not here with us anymore. So, yeah, so those are some of the things I would think. And my own arse.
Yeah. If a fire started in that room, you'd be screwed.
To be honest, it's probably the most likely room, because I've already had a fire in this room before now.
Do you know
when
what I mean?
My PC burst into flames.
There you go. Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah. But that was scary, actually, because I had my PC, I was downloading stuff, from Steam, and I left my PC on, and my son was playing on the Xbox in the living room directly below where it was. And I was out in the garden cutting the lawn. They came in, went upstairs to the loo, and thought, oh my God, I can smell burning metal. And I came in just to see the smouldering remains of my PC on there, because obviously the power supply had worked and it had cut the electricity off. And what was in the PC just burnt itself out because there wasn't enough fuel to keep it going. But it could have been really nasty, could that?
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, so that's, I've had that in the room, and my God, it stunk. The smell of burnt and melted plastic.
Oh, it does.
Horrible.
It's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. Stunk for weeks. But, there we go.
Right. We're there, aren't we?
We are. So, do you want to do your outro?
So, Twitter at Steve07, PSN ID, The Real Steve07, Xbox Steve07, YouTube now Steve07 with me soundtracks and gaming music. Email Steve07 at popculturegamers.co.uk, and yourself is?
Well, all of my stuff for everything is HERJ UK. You can find me easy enough on YouTube, Twitter, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Battle.net, the whole lot on there is that. My email address is hrjuk at popculturegamers.co.uk. Also, don't forget, we have our Facebook group, which is surprisingly called Pop Culture Gamers. If you have any inquiries for the podcast, it's podcast at popculturegamers.co.uk, and our website is popculturegamers.podbean.com. And that's it for another show. So with that, unless Steve's got anything else to add, it's a good night from him.
And good night from me.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.